It's championship night here in the XCAL Racing $5 Tuesday series. While we do have our champion set, we do have one more race left to go that anyone has a chance to win at. Charlotte Motor Speedway, America's home for racing, as we welcome you to live coverage of tonight's race at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the Mad for Ashley 454. So glad you could join us on How to Suck at iRacing alongside Doug Burns working the buttons in the booth, as well as Robert Colgan, our driver analyst. I'm Marty Sakala. Robert, let's begin here with tonight. I know we do have our champion crowned in Austin Edwards, but let's talk about the racing and what we are going to see here tonight at Charlotte. Going to see wide open racing, 2 wide, 3 wide racing, and the big one could possibly happen here tonight.
Yeah, I think this is just going to be a winner-take-all thing with Austin wrapping up the championship. I think it's going to be guys let's just go and leave the year with a win. And we got guys like Joe Campbell that won the first one beginning of this year, and then Petey, he's still searching for a win. Luke Turpin, he's been a little quiet this year. So it's going to be interesting.
However, though, there is a developing story in progress, and this is where I get to you, Doug. Austin Edwards may no-show here tonight. Apparently, he's having issues with his car.
Yeah, and not his race car, his real car. He has not gotten to the house yet, although, as we discussed, if I were Austin, I'd be calling somebody to go log my rig in and get me into the race. But that Austin does have the points in the championship locked up here. Even with a no-show penalty, he still has it locked up. He is secure in his title, but man, he has 10 wins on the season, tying his record-setting 10 wins last season. You know he really wanted to be out here tonight and try and get that 11th win, break his own record in his championship year.
Absolutely. And going back to you here, Robert, let's talk about some of the favorites we should be watching out for. I said it. Anyone has a chance to win it. Who are some of the best drivers out here on super speedways that could win it tonight?
I mean, it could literally be just about anyone. What you look for is a guy that this season who's been able to hold a straight line and he's make smart decisions. A guy that hasn't won yet this year has been strong, that I think he's got the right recipe for play racing. I think Ryan Seams is one that could actually come out and finally get that win this year. It's well deserved. I mean, it's been a long time coming.
Ryan Seams tonight, starting from, just confirming here on my end, position number 18. Let's get to talking with some drivers here. First one that we'll talk with here is PDJ Zeller in the 00. PD, you start from 24th tonight. First off, what's it going to take to try and get to victory lane in the longest race of the year?
Patience. A lot of patience tonight. I'm just going to try to keep the 00 machine in one piece. And year hasn't gone the way I wanted. I hold myself to a higher standard. You know, I know what I'm capable of. I go into official races and run with some of the best on iRacing, but miscues and just not running to my potential has bit me so far this season. But I'm really hoping I can end it on a strong note in victory lane.
Let's talk about another story that came out from you. It was announced earlier today in the drivers' meeting that after the massive Will PD we've got coming up during the off-season, you will be leaving as vice president of XCAL Racing. Just talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, Marty, you know, it's funny. People probably don't think that too much goes into being the vice president of a virtual racing league, but since late 2019, early 2020, every single Tuesday I've dedicated to XCAL. I've been here without fail every Tuesday and pretty much every Monday, too. That includes off weeks during the off season. Like, I'm here helping planning things. During the week, I'm helping our great drivers and owners with things as they message me. And, you know, I mean, being the vice president of XCAL is kind of a 24/7 job. And I'm at a point in my life now where I'm ready to start looking to buy a house, maybe, you know, start proceeding with life, chasing other goals and dreams I have. And it sucks. I really, truly don't want to leave XCAL, but I need the time to accomplish some other goals in life and get moving forward with my life in person. Now, that doesn't mean I won't return at some point to XCAL. Whenever I get settled down, there's probably a good chance I'll be back in some sort of staff role or whatnot. But I just hope the drivers and owners and community of XCAL feel like I served them well, because I always tried to be here for XCAL when I was vice president. I took my role seriously, and I just wanted to serve the community well and leave XCAL better than I found it, and I hope I was able to do that somewhat.
Petey, I have to ask the obvious question here. You're talking about future life changes. Any of those include a wedding ring?
No, nothing like that right now, man.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
But I'm just looking to buy a house and pursue some other dreams in life right now. And at some point, maybe I'll make the return. I'd love to make the return. I'll always have love for XCAL, and I'll be around to some extent.
Well, one more thing as well. You are going out right, mini stock champion. Congratulations on that.
Yeah, thank you, Marty. I appreciate that. It was a fun little series we had, and it started out pretty competitive. It was a good points battle between me, Blake, and Mason. It kind of fizzled out at the end a little bit, but to be the champion of the mini stocks, I'm glad I have that, and just hope I served XCAL well.
All right, man. Best of luck tonight.
Thank you, buddy.
That's PDJ Zeller in the 00, starting from the rear of the field tonight. Now we get to the driver of the 454, Luke Turpin, starting off in the 9th position. Luke, we just talked with Petey. He says that this is a race of patience. You start near the front of the field here, and we've seen a lot of drivers in the past decide, let's go out there, lead a lap, get 5 bonus points, then cruise our way to the back. How many drivers do you think are going to plan on doing that today?
Probably not a drastic amount there, Marty, just because it's kind of the end of the season. I don't think there's really much to be gained for a lot of people. It's really just going to be, I think, everybody's going to try to survive to the end. It's a long race. You don't want to end your night too early. So, yeah, just hang out, try to get the last 50 to go, and make a race of it.
I do want to ask you as well. People are saying rumors about retirement. What do you say to those people what do you say to those unnamed sources that are saying that's happening?
There's probably some truth to it, Marty. The reality is this is a very time-consuming task, and you got to put in the time. I've always said that from the beginning. You put in the time, you get the results, and there's a lot of guys that are putting in a lot of time and getting the results, and it's tough to come in and just run the bare minimum and bridge the gap between the people that are putting in the time. And it's difficult, and it does consume a lot of time, even putting in the bare minimum. So this could be, towards the end for sure. But I'll be around.
All right, sounds good. Well, we wish you the best of luck tonight, and hopefully you end the season right with the dub.
That'd be great.
Luke Turpin starting from the 9th position here tonight. Well, let's break down tonight's race. Again, 303 laps, longest XCAL race of the season. So again, a lot of drivers here tonight are talking about patience, Robert, and that is a huge key coming on in, as well as the fuel window. Around 84 laps, that's a 100% fuel tank.
They always talk about patience every week, and you can talk about it all day long, but the big thing is people are going to start to try to save fuel, and then they're going to panic because they're going to start to split up in different groups, and this guy in the second group, he wanted to be in the front group, so he's going to push, and the guy in front of him maybe isn't going where he wants him to. So that's where the patience is going to take. On lap 50, if you lose the draft, don't worry about it. Just keep going.
Well, we are set to go racing. Let's meet the field here in our starting lineup. Kyle Martin starts on pole position. Quickest time amongst the heat winners, 36.285. And next to him, Brent Meckes in the outside row. Row number 2 is John Fraley, the inside, and our champion, Austin Edwards. Row number 3, the guy that won here in January to begin the season, Joe Campbell in the 63, and Sean Patrick in the 51. Row number 4, the good friends and teammates, Blake Wynn, the 99, and Jeff Edgar in car 88. Rounding out the top 10 tonight, Luke Turpin in the 454, and R. Hendren in the 37. Row 6, you've got Don Jordan in the 61, Gerald Thanos Poole in the 16. Row number 7, starting from the rear tonight, James Johnson in the 25 and Jeremy Leto in car number 5. Row number 8, Jonathan Bergeron in the 717, Brad Ebley in car number 56. In row 9, Jose Gaudino in the 20, Ryan Seams in the 131. And rounding out the top 20 tonight, Albie Hewins in the 55, Zach Edwards in the 6. Row 11, Noah Carpenter in the 23, John Brancaccio in the 7. These are the drivers that start via top 15. Alex Krapser in the 29, PDJ Zeller to 00, Stephen Rex in the 27. And then the drivers with provisionals. We've got in the 67, nobody in the 67, so move that driver up to Chris Johnson in the 54. Then it's John Schwartz, Mason Foster, Greg Holes, Billy Snodgrass, and Matt Bear rounding out the field tonight. Starting from the rear of the field tonight are John Schwartz, Mason Foster, Greg Holes, Billy Snodgrass, and Matt Bear. Matt Bear starts with 1 strike. These are the following drivers that start with a strike as well, not from the rear though. Sean Patrick, James Johnson, Stephen Rex, and the car number 67, which does not show up. All right, we're set to go green. Final thoughts as we go green here, Doug.
Well, it's worth noting another driver that this is his final race in full-time competition, Gerald Poole, looking to go just part-time going into the next season, so he's out looking for a win. A lot of guys have had so many close calls this season. I think everybody's going to be fighting for every inch here tonight, and I think patience isn't going to last too long.
iRacing Pace Truck is in. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now? It's time to end this season with a bang. Martin and Meckes, bring us to green. It's showtime in Charlotte.
Off toward turn 1, everybody's going to be side by side. It will take a lap or so to build up speed, and Robert, I know you've been in this situation. These guys building up speed, you get 1 or 2 that come charging through here. Who do you expect to see making early moves?
I mean, from the back, Mason Foster, he's pretty aggressive. Him and maybe Chris Johnson. The rest of these guys here, they look like Krapser. Bear, you never know with him. He might try to make his way up through real quick, but I think everyone's just going to kind of lay low here for a little bit.
Kyle Martin leading lap number 1. As you see immediately, drivers are trying to find the bottom groove to work here. You always want to go here in a street stock, Robert, the shortest way around the racetrack. We know the second groove, that middle groove, where you see the 37 car, excuse me, not the 37, the 51 of Sean Patrick running. That groove can work, but you really need a lot of help.
Yeah, that's where the aggressive guys are going to be running tonight. I don't see really anyone just taking it easy up down that outside lane. That's the rocket lane there.
You see, though, Meckes is starting to get a push from the driver that won here in January, Joe Campbell. Doug, he's got a really good chance at trying to pull off the sweep tonight.
Joe Campbell was not going to be denied that win at the start of the season. And my God, he went through everything, including the last lap calamity, and never lifted. He is definitely a favorite. He's looking to book into the season with wins. And, man, with the champion not here tonight, it's going to be interesting to see who gets up there. Can Joe Campbell do it here tonight again?
Actually, I can confirm. I'm sorry, Doug, but Austin Edwards is in this field. That's the 18 car in 5th position.
He did make it. I didn't even see that he made it. He did not. He didn't even get a minute of practice. He must have hopped in as they were gridding.
I think so. But going back to Joe here, Doug, is actually we got a battle for the race lead. Hold that thought. Sean's got a challenge on the outside. Martin is getting attacked. Let's see here if Patrick can get the lead at the stripe. And it won't. Martin's still with the race lead. It's going to come down to a lot of side drafting here, Robert. And if we see a huge pack like we did in January in the final laps in this race, you're going to see a lot of side drafting, a lot of drivers beating and banging.
Yeah, I mean, this is right now we're getting guys, they're starting to figure out, get around their teammates and whatnot, because like you were saying with Joe running up there behind Sean Patrick, I don't think he's going to really be helping the 51 there much because there is that rivalry between DBR and Joe.
Check here, I was way too close at the line. Martin got the lap led by 5 thousandths of a second. Going back to Joe, by the way, Colgan, he is angry after what happened last week. He got disqualified from last week's race at the bull ring, and he doesn't want that to happen. He wants a statement win as he pushes Patrick to the race lead.
Yeah, I mean, Joe's always angry. I mean, I think that's how just Joe is. Like, I mean, he just, and I mean, some people it works for him. I mean, you got to have that fight in you. So, he did keep his cool. I believe pretty good for last week. Didn't show the anger out there. So, Joe's angry, but he ain't stupid. I mean, he knows what he could all lose here by doing something dumb tonight.
29 drivers all in this pack as Martin gets a nice push to the race lead. Campbell, though, goes up the track, breaks the draft off just a little bit. See here if Martin can get the lead here at the line. He does. Patrick can't get the lead at the stripe just yet. 29 cars are in this pack. Matt Bear at the caboose of this pack, just staying to be safe. It looks like him and teammate Greg Hulls here, Robert. Looks like they got a strategy early here. The Matt Bear drivers going to just play a little bit safe here, as I think I see someone as well going below the apron. They're not falling back, though.
Yeah, they got Superman in there with them. So, and all three of them are pretty smart guys. I know Greg and Luke both are very big on, how to tweak a race car and whatnot. Matt Bear, he's more of the, he's the aggressive guy. So they got a good mixture in there with that whole team. I think they got something figured out.
There are two drivers, though, in this pack that are not in this pack, though, Doug, at the moment. It's John Schwartz, who's currently 30th, and Alex Krapser in 31st. Do you think they decide, you know what, let's play it super safe in case the big one breaks out early?
I think they're too far apart and too far back for them to have been playing any kind of safety game. I'm not sure what happened, but these two are definitely way, way behind. And it looks like, at least at the moment, Schwartz is way off the pace, even without the draft. Alex Krapser last time by was several seconds faster.
Whoa! Close calls between the leaders. Martin goes up the track on Patrick, and already Hillebush is warning the 51 for blinking. That was tight there, Doug.
It is going to get exciting, and the blinking, I think, is going to be a lot stricter tonight. The warnings and the trouble from the blinking, I think it's going to be a little bit stricter. Last week, there was some lenience going on just due to the fact that, hey, these guys are on a short track. Anything could happen. They were giving each other a little leniency, but tonight, in the draft, high speed, I think they're going to be. I think Aaron's going to be a lot stricter.
Robert Campbell took big advantage of that, and Patrick is helping him out, push him to the race lead. See if Campbell can get it here at the stripe. I think he may be able to. Not just yet, but Joe took big advantage of that. And he's looking to go to the front in no time.
I think he was put in almost a position, too, that he almost had to do that or something bad could come of it. Because you definitely, if you got a car blinking, you do not want to be pushing that car. I'd rather have that car pushing me if I had to choose one or the other.
Looking at the rest of the drivers here in this top 10. Sean Patrick 3rd, Brent Meckes 4th. Gerald Poole 5th, Blake Wynn 6th. Jeremy Leto is running in 7th. Good start for him. Jimmy Johnson 8th. Jonathan Bergeron 9th. And Mason Foster, your biggest mover early, up 18 spots to 10th. But Jeremy Leto in 7th spot, Colgan. Should I be concerned if I'm running near him?
Yeah, you just don't know what he's going to do. I mean, he'll run fine, and I see he's blinking now too as a 51 just before he's dropping low because he got his second warning, so he's playing it extra safe. But Leto, he'll run clean for 100 laps, and then lap 101, sometimes I don't even know like what to say. Like, it's just a dumb move. So it's iffy with him.
Absolutely. And Campbell, by the way, has led 2 laps. He's cleared Kyle Martin to the inside. 63 to the point, Doug. He is the second different leader of this race.
You know, he's up there, but look at the cars in the top 10. JNS is up there in fourth. Gerald Poole, knowing that this is his last full-time race here tonight, he is definitely looking fast, and he's one to watch for a win too tonight. And man, he has got an awesome new Kings of Thrash paint scheme too tonight. Then you've got some more of that group back there. Mason Foster is with the JNS team. They had such a strong showing here in January. Now looking to repeat here. And they're 3 wide for second place. This may not end well.
Martin on the outside. He thinks, you know what? I got my 5 bonus points. I've had enough for this. I'm going to the back of the field. Colgate, something we should remember. If we go back to the last Super Speedway race that XCAL had, which was Auto Club a couple of weeks ago, JNS earned that win. They had so many drivers in the top 5. Everyone but one driver, I think, in that 6-car train at the end of the race. And who got the win? Zach Edwards.
Yeah, they've been strong all year. I think it was Michigan. Petey actually almost pulled off the win. I think he pushed Zach to the win there too. So they've been very strong. They have the numbers. So they know something that other people don't.
And they've got a strategy a lot similar to what Roger Penske has in the Cup Series on Super Speedways. You work with your boys to get to the front. You don't make any passes on your teammates until you know you've got the win.
You know,
yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, you speak of the numbers, JNS definitely has the numbers, and they also learned a neat little trick from EHP at Michigan much earlier on in the season, and we could see, they've never implemented that, but tonight, if they're going to implement that, let's just put 3-4 cars up front and not let anybody by, tonight would be the night to do it.
Absolutely. No more points on the line here, as we've already crowned our champion in Austin Edwards, who, by the way, is currently scored in the... Trying to find him on our screen. Currently scored, thank you, 11th position on the racetrack. Only 5 drivers from the looks of it working on the outside line here. Taking a look here, you've got only Gerald Poole, Jeremy Lettle, Jonathan Bergeron, as well as the 48 of Kyle Martin, as well, excuse me, the 54 of Chris Johnson. They got the same numbers out there. Thank you, Trading Paints. And then one guy as well that is pretty much doesn't have any help right now at the moment. That's the 7 of John Brancaccio. But a lot of drivers just trying to be patient right at the bottom here, Colgan, at the moment.
Yeah, the only thing you got to watch is you don't want to get that line built up too much, because somebody in that pack is going to play a little more conservative and maybe back off whenever the guy behind doesn't expect, and then you get a chain reaction, and then poof, big one.
You know, another thing worth noting when we're talking about the race, looking at the track temperature right now, the sun is out, the track is showing 69 degrees, and
Nice.
It's nice and cool out there, but when the sun goes down, as we saw back in January, that track's going to get slicker, or no, I'm sorry, not slicker, grippier, as the more rubber they lay down, and especially that high line seems to really come in as the sun goes down and the lights come on.
New leader at the line, Gerald Poole, and you see there he ducks below the apron. He's got his 5 bonus points. He is going to the back. Just wanted to have his time up at the front, and you know Thanos. He's out here to win races. He wants to go out right with a bang, Doug.
But I am so happy to see him get that lap led here tonight. He's gotten a few over the season, but it has been a rough season. Last season he came out with a bang and really lit the tracks on fire. This season hasn't been his greatest, and part of that is just, as you heard Petey talk about, the time, and Luke Turpin said it, the time you have to put into XCAL to make it work is a lot, and he's been really dedicated, but it has shown it's worn him down a bit. I'm looking forward to seeing how he does with a part-time season next year. But it's a plate track. This is where Thanos is at his best. I would expect to see him up there in the fight, possibly pulling off a win here tonight.
Absolutely. Leto side by side with Campbell for the race lead. I'd be really concerned if I see those two going at it for the top spot.
Hey, wait a minute. Let's let Robert Colgan talk about. Let's let him talk about Leto's win real quick, since Leto's about to go to the lead.
Oh yeah, that's right.
His lead's not going to last long. There's more than 3 cars out there.
I couldn't resist.
We had to do it. We had to do it. How about Jonathan Bergeron? That 7:17 started from 15th. He's already made his way up to 4th spot at the moment here, Rob. Nice start for the Black Sheep Racing team. Could Bergeron be a big threat to win this race today? He's always up there at the front at these super speedways.
Yeah, he seems to be the Black Sheep's Racing big name guy. He's their hot shot. He's always been really fast. The bigger the track, the better, it seems like. When I seen he was on the list here when we were running off the grid, he was another one I thought would be a favorite here to possibly win. He just doesn't have the number and teammates like others do.
Excuse me. Anyway, as Campbell still remains out in front, that high side has dwindled down to only 2 cars, Leto and Bergeron. Everyone else trying to form a big Amtrak train on the bottom in first class carrying.
Oh, wait,
And
I
just
know.
play it safe than sorry. Go ahead, Doug.
I know why Bergeron and Leto are up there together. Because Canadians are always just above Americans, and they're both Canadians, so Team Canada trying to make their way to the lead.
The Canadians always lend a helping hand, eh?
That is true, eh?
Yes, it is, for sure.
And actually, one of my coworkers is in Canada right now, so hey, Adam, if you're watching, bring me back some maple syrup, buddy.
Oh, who doesn't love Canadian maple syrup? It's so good. Bring me back some Canadian bacon while you're at it there. So, Campbell
Like their beer.
Oh, Labatt. Labatt's really goes really well. Anyway, I'm a poutine guy when it comes to Canada food. So, anyway, 25 laps complete. Biggest movers of the race so far: Chris Johnson up 21, Mason Foster up 20, up 18 is Steven Rex, up 12 Jeremy Leto, and up 13 is Matt Bear. Foster off to a hot start, up 20 spots, but this man, I tell you something, he's had some bad luck, Doug, in these past couple of weeks.
Yeah, and you know, it's great to see him fighting back up. We talk about Mason, how much he has improved over this season, but his introduction to XCAL last season did not go well and did not earn any friends his first couple of races, but man, from then on, he started earning everybody's respect back. There was a lot of anger, a lot of people calling for him to be removed from the league, but here he is, one of the most respected drivers out there. Everybody trusts him, and man, it is awesome to see him back up to the front.
Absolutely. Leto's up there, meanwhile, with Campbell for the race lead. Foster is the 4th car on the inside line in 7th position. Seems like Robert Leto's always getting that chance down the back straightaway and through 3 and 4, but it seems like when you get that little dip off off of turn number 4, you've got nothing on that outside line.
Yeah, he's just not getting a lot of help right now, which, like I said, Bergeron, I've never really talked to him or anything, but watching him race and everything, he's pretty smart, so he's testing. He's going to see what he can do here and whatnot, and to be honest with you, like I said, I don't mean to make fun, but it is Leto, so I mean, you gotta have that trust. Right
He got
there.
it! 1,000th of a second. That's your 4th lead change today.
He got down there and pinched Joe just at the right time and took that speed away and got that side draft. One thing I wanted to point out is Schwartz and Krapser have both teamed up, and I've been watching. They've been picking up a little bit of time on the leaders. They've actually been running a little bit faster. So we get a full run here, maybe through pit stops. They work together. They could catch that field again.
Mark point, they're actually 0.3 of a second better than the leader last lap, and they're not playing it safe. There's some bump drafting going on. Craps are up to John Schwartz here.
Those are two drivers there right there. Those would be fun drivers to watch because both clean. I trust them. They're both smooth too. So two great drivers together right now. It's going to be interesting to see how it works.
Absolutely. Would love to see them make a charge up to the front. Hopefully see them in it by race end. There's another driver that's actually dropped out of this pack as well here, Doug. That's Noah Carpenter in the 23.
They're putting themselves in a buffer. They're playing it safe for the moment. It'll be interesting to watch and see if Noah can make his way back up.
There is a driver that is trying to make some moves up, and that is Matt Bear. He's running some really quick laps at the moment. 36.34, 3/10 better than the leader. Also seeing Luke Turpin, Brad Ebley, Jeff Edgar run some fast laps, but Bear's the only guy of those drivers that's running the high side, and he wants to go. And guess who was behind him on that outside? PDJ Zeller in the 00. Doug, let's flash back to that one track I flipped at called Texas. Let's get that out of the way.
Oh,
let's flash back to Texas, where they worked together oh so well. They went from the back of the pack to the front of the pack, didn't win the race, but got up to the lead pack in like a 10-lap span. It was an unbelievable charge. I would watch out for that too to work well tonight.
Yeah, there's a couple of guys out here that if you watch, they are looking for each other. And, you know, I have to wonder, I mentioned it earlier, Schwartz and Craps are, you know, they both fell way off, but look, the way they're working together, that might have been planned. They might have expected that early caution that just hasn't come yet. I have to think that there's some strategy playing out there as well. It's going to be an interesting night because there's several of these groups that are, you know, these are people that have raced with each other, may not be teammates, but they know how well they work together. Also worth noting, you mentioned Matt Bear charging up through the field, and Rob and I talked about this last week. Matt Bear left the Legends Oval pissed, and he was pissed when I talked to him Sunday. He was still pissed off. Colgan, have you talked to Matt this week?
No, I haven't talked to him much lately here, but he's another one though. He's always pissed off. I mean, there's a couple times he's happy, whatever, but he's got that anger in him, and that might just fuel the fire to get a win tonight. Be a second career win if he wins tonight, I believe.
You want to know why nobody's heard from Matt Bear lately? He's been busy playing FIFA.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He even brought that up Sunday morning in the GT3 NSS League. We were talking about it during pre-race. I am surprised Matt Bear, and this is exactly what he said. He is good at racing. He is good at his job. He is good at a lot of things. He is excellent at those games.
Absolutely. Even 2K as well, from what I've heard.
And I heard he played actually against some pro basketball players the other day and was beating them.
Oh, damn. Oh, damn.
Yeah.
That's how good the Mad Bear is, that's for sure. So, Leto led last time with the line, but that lead's about to be taken back by Campbell. If I'm a guy that's in this front pack here, Colgan, I know I talked about it earlier, and I'm seeing Jeremy Leto up in the front of the field, and even though he has led laps, are you not surprised he's up front? Is he trying to stay up in the front, not trying to move to the back of the pack?
Jeremy Leto? No, I mean, I'm not surprised he's up there. Leto, he goes. I've never really seen Leto where he just lays back and plays strategy. He knows just to go, and he had a decent starting spot, so that was probably the strategy. So, I mean, you're either safe at the front or at the very back. If you're somewhere in between there, it's 50-50.
They're trading that lead back and forth. Unofficially, that's the 7th lead change of this race with 37 laps in the books.
Hey, you know something I just noticed, Marty? It's been really, really quiet in the comments. I don't think Ryan Seam's fan club is here tonight. I only have seen one person cheering for Ryan tonight. No, two. Jason and Steven are the only two to cheer for Ryan. His fan club, the more of his fan club that are here, the better he runs.
I think it's because he's being patient. 27, just wait. When he comes up through the field in the final laps, the fan base will show up. So,
no Carpenter's falling back to Schwartz and Crapser, and that is another JNS car. I wonder if maybe there's a little bit of a change there, asking Carpenter to come back and maybe help them a little bit, because Schwartz and Crapser, they're coming.
Yeah,
Carpenter,
that's got to be a strategy.
Yeah, Carpenter and Crapser are teammates. So, 39 laps are complete here at Charlotte. Jeremy Lutto, your race leader. Joe Campbell, second. Jonathan Bergeron, Brent Meckes, Chris Johnson, all in the battle for the race lead. Stay with us as we take you side by side.
Are you ready to chase the moonlight? Community-based and talent-driven, Moonlight Speed Concepts has what you need to take your iRacing experience to the next level. Founded by passionate owners that care about the community and housing some of the top setup builders and drivers on the platform, Moonlight Speed Concepts offers custom paints, driver coaching, and setups for dirt, asphalt short track racing, and eNASCAR competition. Partnered with top brands in both real world and simulation. Follow us on Facebook or visit moonlightspeed.com and find out why these businesses chase the moonlight and why you should too. Moonlight Speed Concept, where all we chase is moonlight.
Welcome back to Charlotte Motor Speedway. We are 45 laps complete in the books. It's been Jeremy Leto and Joe Campbell that have been on the front row this way long. Double file amongst the front three rows with Mason Foster tail in 7th. Stephen Rex, Luke Turpin, Matt Bear round out the top 10. Marty Sicalo alongside Robert Colgan and Doug Burns. So glad you could join us here on How to Suck at iRacing for the final race of the XCAL Racing $5 Tuesday season. Back and forth, good racing at the moment here, guys. But this race is about to have another chapter come to it in about maybe 30 laps from now. That's pit stops.
Yeah, that's going to get a little bit interesting. First off, let me just shout out Lanny Lee for throwing out some stars. Really appreciate that. And yeah, pit stops here, you have to be in a pack. You have to at least have 2 or 3 people with you drafting. It's going to make things a bit interesting. But Robert, when you were racing here, how many people did you usually look for to pit with you?
Well, it was just I would just judge like the fuel mileage distance and then start watching when people are dipping off. But me and Kyle Bartles, when I had Colgan Enterprise, we got a system. And if you look back at Michigan, we were hauling ass, and it was just me and him, and it was like watching Stewart and Earnhardt push each other at Daytona. We were faster than anybody and everybody, and it was just 2 of us. Now here, it's a little tighter. It's just hard to judge. It's going to be interesting without Will Petey coming through these tight corners and watching them slow down and pit.
And yeah, let's go ahead and mention, and I'll do it because he's my friend. Gerald Thanos pulled due to connection issues out of the race, and I am personally heartbroken. I wanted to see him get that first win in XCAL competition here tonight. As I told you guys on the break, I've seen him win in everything that involves drafting. From SR8s to Cup cars and everything in between, I've seen him pull off wins. I really thought it was his tonight, but buddy, what a heck of a season, and look forward to seeing you back part-time next season.
Oh, Martin, meanwhile, yeah, I think, Rob, you were just about to mention it. Martin not playing games. He had a close call, threaded the needle on Chris Johnson and Blake Quinn. Now looking on the outside, he's got a push from Johnson. Looking for third, now looking for the race lead. This is risky here, Robert, playing with fire at the moment.
Yeah, Leto, he's going to be in the middle of that sandwich, and sometimes he gets a little nervous. Does he hit Joe or go up and hit Martin or back off? It's because, Leto's going up.
Leto went up the track, shut the door on Kyle Martin. They touch, up into the wall they go. Campbell saves it, but Leto pays a big price. He's lost the right rear suspension. It's broken. And a new leader on the track for now. Meckes and Martin touch. The racing like it's the last lap.
We have an irritated Leto right now with a damaged race car. The last time we seen that was at Oxford.
What in the hell were they thinking there, Doug? Do we have a replay?
I have no idea. Let's see if we can pull up a replay of that. That was nuts. Trying to find when this chaos started, because man, that got really dicey. It went from really calm up at the front to utter chaos. And let's see.
It looked like Leto just tried to throw that early block, try to get Martin to push him, and Martin had the speed coming into the corner, and he wasn't going to let it.
Leto gets turned down just a little bit from the bump, and nothing he could do. That was a really badly timed block, and it just went wrong for everybody. But man, what a save by Joe, and what great driving by everybody up there to hold on to it and not get caught up and make a big one out of that.
Absolutely as well. And that may have been at the same time a bad bump draft for Kyle Martin. You don't want a bump draft in the turns here, obviously, here at Charlotte Motor Speedway or any super speedway in general, as we got a new leader. Chris Johnson from 26 to the race lead has taken the 54 to the point here, Robert.
Yeah, it looks like they're playing that. Meckes come up a bit. They're playing that aggressive draft game, like I was saying there. Me and Bartles played at Michigan, and if you can get two cars linked up here and you can be aggressive, I think you can check out from the field.
Hey, Colgan, you said in the pre-race, and first off, huge shout out to new viewer, Huey. My girlfriend's sister is watching, so how's it going, Huey? I have to say, man, you called it before the race. You said patience would go out the window about lap 50. I believe it was lap 48 when Leto and Joe had their little tussle.
Yeah,
Just
I mean,
around.
these guys, they start getting impatient. Leto was irritating the living daylights out of Joe, and I can only imagine what Joe was saying to Leto under his breath, and that's all it takes.
Absolutely. So, as we continue on here, looks like the drivers are being patient for right now, but we got a new leader. Blake Wynn has taken the 99 out to the front of the field, and talking about Blake Wynn, this is a guy you got to watch out for, but as I say that, Mason Foster to the race lane. Wow! It's a great race here so far, fellas.
Looks like Blake just wanted that lap because he's just hanging back. And by the way, about 5 seconds, Schwartz, Crafter, and Carpenter are behind the big pack here now.
It was, 8, 9? So when it was just Crapser and Schwartz, it was about 9 or 10 seconds. They are single file, 3 wide, nose to tail, and man, they're getting it done.
Yeah, I mean, at one point I looked back, Crafter was about almost 20 seconds behind the leader before he and Schwartz even linked up. Now, look at him.
Very impressive. Anyway, new leader. Yeah, go ahead.
No, and that's what I was talking about. You get two cars linked up, aggressive drafts, you see how much time they pulled in on them.
Going to be a new leader here at the line. Brent Meckes against Chris Johnson. As Foster decides it's time to roll to the back of the field. Let's see who gets this one at the stripe. Give it to Chris Johnson. 17th lead change of the night. And that's got to be like, what, maybe the 7th we've had in maybe 10 laps? The last 10 laps or so, Doug?
Something like that. It definitely, it's been, ever since the Joe Campbell and Jeremy Leto incident, it's been getting a little bit dicey out here, and guys are trying to get some laps in before we hit, some laps led before we hit some pit stops here. These guys are making some moves that you wouldn't normally see out of some of these guys. But how about Chris Johnson, who had a 3-week suspension, and Colgan, you and I talked about this last week. He had a 3-week suspension, and it has seemed like since then he's backed it up a little bit. He's been a little bit more careful, but suddenly, the last couple of weeks, he has gotten faster and faster. Still driving smart, still being patient, still not causing problems out there, but he is finding his speed again.
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
My dad taught me when I was a kid. I mean, you let them come to you. You drive with your head, not with your feet. And Johnson, that's what he's been starting to do here lately. He's been doing a hell of a job.
By the way, I'll just say this. As a baseball fan, I hate to change the subject. Number 62, baby!
Yankees.
Yep. Aaron Judge is the new American League King, a.k.a. the non-steroid king of baseball.
Oh. I might have puked a little in my mouth.
Aaron, if you see this, I'm sorry, man. I just had to say it. But anyway, this is a little bit, we're seeing, I think with all the racing, I think all the drivers are knowing, hey, that was way too close of a call, Robert. The big one nearly broke out. Everyone rocking the low side, everyone single file. I think everyone's just right now, just trying to make it to the first pit stop of the race without a caution.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of was a little wake-up call for him, and now you're going to see that singling out and going single file because you can tell guys are starting to set up, get ready for pit stops, and they want to find, their partners. And I'm looking here, Schwartz and Crafts are going to catch this pack right before we pit. I mean, they're right there on the same straightaway now.
Holy cow, they really have. They have timed, and they have made this work perfectly. They are back up into the lead lap, and also another new viewer hopped in, and man, she sure is good looking. Hello, Angie.
this here with Schwartz and Crafter, this might want to watch for later on in the race. These two might link back up again because they've spent 62 laps of trusting each other. I mean, why quit something so good?
You make a really good point. If those three, once they get up here, if they agree to work their way towards the front together and stay as a group, man, I don't know that they'd be stoppable. I think the three of those guys could get to the high side. There'd be people helping along the way, up and down. You know, you always get guys that hop out, want to pick up those 2 spots, and then they'll hop back into the bottom line when they find an opening. But I think these three could stay together on the top side, and with that little bit of help from here and there, they could be up front in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, anytime I see Schwartz or Crafter around the track, I know I can trust them. I know that they're going to run me clean. They're not going to do anything boneheaded. Me and Schwartz have had a couple little talks about some little things, but nothing bad. I mean, they're two well-respected guys, and I know a Carpenter, another one that talked about here the last couple weeks. He's got a really good head on his shoulders for how old he is. You got 3 really, really good guys in there together.
63 laps are in the books. Let's get back and update you here to John Schwartz, Alex Crapser, and Noah Carpenter. They've caught the tail end of the Peloton pack, our 126th. How about this, Rob? This is you called it. You predicted it like it would happen. They are making their way up. Now, do they stay back, or do they try and go up to the front with all the momentum they have?
Oh, they're so smart. I mean, they're not going to make a stupid decision, be like, oh, look how fast we are, now let's go take the lead. I think they're going to settle in. They may try to pick off a few cars. They might use each other to get up to their teammates now so they can pit with their team. But, I mean, they're there now.
If you're in this group, though, I would think these three, knowing how fast they are together, yeah, they're going to be looking for their teammates to help out that group, but these three may want to pit together and work their way up together. It's going to be hard to say. I guess we'll find out in the next 15 laps or so, but man, if I was in this 3-car group, knowing how fast we are, I'd be like, yeah, let's just stick together for this one.
Yeah, and what's tough is I know for a fact unless something changed, the 01 and the 29, they're not in the same party. I mean, the 29 and Carpenter, I mean, they probably are in the same chat talking to each other, but that's going to be difficult for JB Schwartz there to signal with them.
That could get tricky, and look who they've caught up to, and this is a guy that I would expect. We saw Ryan Seams come charging through a couple of times at Michigan. He could get hooked up with this group as well. That would be another driver these guys could really benefit from working with as fast as he is on these plate tracks.
I think Seams, I think he's laying back. I mean, he's riding there with his couple teammates. I think there's a plan here, so I wouldn't count out Seams. I wouldn't, put your head down on him yet. I mean, he's got a plan, and I think anytime I've raced with him plate racing, I mean, he's one of them ones. He likes to lay in the back and set himself up for the end.
Yeah, the thinking back to Michigan, it seems like mid-race, after about the first or second pit stop, Seams actually played with a couple of friends. They worked their way from the back to the front, then dropped back to the back, and then worked their way back to the front again just to get the practice doing it. And they were able to go from back in the 20s to up in the top 5 in a matter of 3 or 4 laps. So you're probably right. He's got these people back here he's going to work with. And you see guys back here like Zach Edwards, another great plate racer. This group back here might be the force to be reckoned with, and they're just hanging out. They know they've got a long way to go, and they got to hold on to the car.
We've got something starting to work here, by the way, while we are at it. Luke Turpin up to 7th spot. He's got Matt Bear behind them. They're trying to make their way up to the front. Just about 10, 15 laps before pit stops. And now Matt Bear gets in front of Luke Turpin for 7th spot. I'm liking this strategy that the Matt Bear-owned race team has going here, Rob.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, then you're starting to throw in strategy. We know Turpin, he can save fuel, but Bear spent all that time running the outside, cutting through traffic. How much fuel does he have compared to Turpin? And even if they pit the same lap, Turpin's probably going to come out sooner because he's going to have more fuel in the car. So this is where it starts to get tricky now with teams, is you got to almost be in the same spot as each other, and you've got to burn off almost the same amount of fuel.
Colgan, I have to ask, we've seen, we heard Luke Turpin talk about this may likely be his retirement race as well. And he mentioned the time constraints and not being able to get as much time in this season. How much of an effect did that have on what we saw out of him last season, where just the fuel savings was, he had all the speed plus he had all the fuel and could stretch, but without that practice, I mean, how was he saving so much fuel, and why is he not now?
That's all with gearing and with the way iRacing is updated, that could have thrown a wrench in the equation. But with gearing, I mean, even down to tire pressure, anything. But this year, Campbell slowed way down. This year, we've had EHP come in here. JNS has just built a dynasty. And then you got Luke Turpin, and it's just a 3-car team. So you're going up against some really strong teams now, and that makes you do the homework even more.
Absolutely. They are starting to close in on some lap traffic. That's Jeremy Lotto now. He just came out of pit road to repair that suspension a couple moments ago. That was a 10-minute pit stop for Jeremy. And do you think that he may be looking for somebody here, Robert?
It's honestly so hard to tell. I mean, I was shocked, but also not shocked to see that he was in a car for this weekend. I just hope he doesn't do anything stupid. Let these guys race. There was nothing dirty about any of what just happened, so just let it go. And I don't think there's even a team car out there for Leto to help, so I don't understand running 16 laps down right now what the point is, unless he's made a deal with somebody to help someone else. So we're about to find out, though.
Again, we're starting to go ahead, Robert.
Oh,
that wasn't me.
I'm sorry, Doug.
It would be interesting because we saw, as we mentioned earlier, we saw what happened with Chris Johnson earlier this season, and obviously we haven't talked about the elephant in the room, Dwayne Robinson, after last week, but we've seen the penalties come out of just utter stupidity. I don't know that, and Leto has seen those penalties as well. I really don't see Leto making a move like that to take somebody out of this one.
If he does, that's like strike 17. I don't see, if Leto does do something stupid, I don't see Leto being welcomed back into XCAL.
Same. Now, we're coming up on pit stops here, by the way, gentlemen, and Colgan, you know from driving experience much better than I do. When do you pit, and how do you pit to try and get in that lead pack?
Well, I mean, you don't want to drain that fuel down clear to zero. You want to leave at least about a half a gallon in your tank when you're pitting. Less fuel you pit with, more time it's going to take. You want to get as much fuel in your car as you can. You can kind of counteract, maybe take a little less than the teammate you're going to go out there with, get behind them, save that little bit. But it's going to be, I don't know, I mean, maybe somebody is going to come in here and put 2 tires and a half a tank in with another guy, and then they just check out, because we just seen what the 29 and the 01 was able to do, and then the 23 was able to come back and help them go even faster. So we've seen, it's proven that only a couple cars together can just haul ass around here.
Yeah,
Second line. Yeah, I think you're about to mention the same thing, Doug. Second line starting to form with Austin Edwards getting help from like nearly everyone at JNS. Trying to get to the race lead. Wow, Edwards just found a hole right behind the 48, and that means Petey leads that second groove. So they're trying to get up to their JNS teammates and try and find a way to pit. Remember, Campbell and Foster, 3rd and 4th, and then you got Petey in 10th.
Yeah, another interesting note was just looking back at Jonathan Schwartz, that group is no longer together. Noah Carpenter has drifted quite a ways back from him. He's about 6 spots back, and Alex Crapser, now up to 16th. He just weaved his way through. I'm really surprised these three didn't stay connected and make their way up together, but here we are. These guys separated, they're moving, and everybody playing a different strategy now.
Yeah, I think the goal was we help each other get up to our teams, and then let's go do our own thing. And they did very good helping each other. It was actually kind of nice to see. Like I said, those were some real well-respected guys too in XCAL, and to accomplish that, Alex Crapser was almost 20 seconds behind the leader before they linked up.
Up to 6th right now is Petey on lap number 80. You'll watch it here as we go side by side. Pit stops coming up after the break. Chris Johnson leads them here at Charlotte.
This is my good friend who had cancer when we were really little, and he was able to beat it through early detection, and now he just recently graduated from San Diego.
My dad was diagnosed with cancer my freshman year of high school. Thanks to early detection, he now gets to see me graduate from college.
Eight years ago, my mom was diagnosed with cancer, but thanks to early detection, I'll get to spend this Christmas with her.
My dad was diagnosed with cancer when I was 10, and he passed away soon after. Maybe if we had early detection, he would have been able to be there to walk me down the aisle.
Early detection saves lives.
Pit stops underway here at Charlotte as the J&S clan has gone to the race lead. The high side work for PDJ Zeller and company. The 00 is out in front. Meanwhile, we just had our first 35-second lap of the day. Austin Edwards, 35.993. Quickest lap of this race. Top three currently, though, all J&S, but it looks like here, Doug, they're going to come in.
Yeah, it's about time. Although we've seen J&S really stretching the fuel this season. You know, they talked about during the start of the season how much time they had spent on working on the fuel mileage, working on their speed. They found it all in the off season, and it's paid off all season long. Then they got put together a great team, and their teamwork is just outstanding out there on track. So great job by JNS all season long.
Bear Pitt and Turpin stayed out.
Yep, Luke and Blake both stayed out, and looks like they're coming in this time together. See what happens there. Here, Robert, you want to go for tires and fuel.
Yeah, I mean, this early. Turpin staying out again. He's a lone wolf now. But this early, I mean, maybe take 4 tires and fuel and see where you come out at, and then get a little aggressive maybe later on in the pit strategy.
And with
Turpin's going to take a hit.
Yeah, with this, Turpin's going to be the 10th. Turpin is already the 10th different leader of this race. 20th lead change of this race unofficially. And again, we just wait on him to come on in. We'll see who the race leader is. Everyone's still in pit road. Long time here, Doug, to fill up the fuels.
Well, yeah, it's 100% fuel in these cars here tonight, so these guys have a lot of fuel to take on. Schwartz is back out there, and look at that. He's got another Wait a minute, who is that behind him? That is Art Hendren.
Yep, Art Hendren in the 37. Or I'm sorry, this.
Yep, that's the 37.
37. Trying to see where he is scored out on the racetrack. 27th. Those wondering at home, and trying to see who is back out on the track. First one out is Kyle Martin in the 48 now. What do you think? What do you think he's going to come out here, Robert? Could he come out as the race leader, or how does this look for him?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think so, but I did see Petey and Zach Edwards and Ryan Seams. They were making some hay there towards the end of that run. They were carrying some speed. It looks like they all came in pretty good on into the pits. So it's going to be interesting. This is where the groups are going to start to split up, and this is where you either hope we're with your teammates or you're about to make some new friends to draft with.
First guy out in front is the 01 of John Schwartz. Now, he pitted on lap number 82, and he took less fuel. 143 on pit road. It's just about 210 to 220. 2 minutes to 2 minutes and 20 seconds for the drivers out here, depending on how long you pit. So Schwartz took less fuel. Doug, do you think he's banking on a caution flag to come out?
With Schwartz, you just never know what to expect here. He definitely has tried some different strategy things throughout this year, and it's interesting to see him make that shorter pit stop, but he's got to be thinking and expecting a caution here. He's been at the back, and he came through all that traffic. He saw everything up ahead of him as he was racing. He may have seen just how crazy it's getting out there. He may be seeing more than what we're seeing, and that could have made him decide, hey, I'm going to take this shorter pit stop. I think we're going to end up with a caution before too much longer, and he's trying to take advantage of that.
When it comes to the leaderboard right now, Robert, at the moment, as Schwartz officially goes to the race lead, it looks like the drivers out in front are the ones that took less fuel. Schwartz. Now you got Austin Edwards. That's going to be second here shortly. Oh my gosh. Big wreck on a second screen, sorry. Austin Edwards went 205. Jimmy Johnson 205. Kyle Martin 206. Jose Godino 204 up in the 5th spot. You got Chris Johnson 206, and the majority out there on back at least 2 minute and 10-second pit stops.
Well, right now you just seen the 37 and 56. Schwartz just let them around. You can pit for less fuel, make up that time, and then hope you get caught in the right group, and then you can save that back. I don't know how much less Schwartz took, but he's probably okay. I'm going to get out in front of everybody, and now I'm going to, just swing for the fences here and get behind somebody, even if it's a lap car, as long as they're going to go fast enough. And he can sit there and save fuel. That's what he's doing right now. The 37 and 56 are going. They're not really bunched up there, though, going real quick. So this, I'd look to see Edwards and them catch Schwartz here soon.
This is the first big gamble move we have seen early on in the race. And you'll normally see this in a race on the first pit stop, normally being done by just only 1 or 2 drivers or so. Then we've got behind Schwartz, we've got a 3-car line led by the Edwards clan, Austin Edwards, Jimmy Johnson, and Kyle Martin in 2nd through 4th. And I think their plan, now that they've found each other, just work together the rest of the way unless a caution flag comes out here, Doug.
Yeah, I know McRacken said that there was, he just wanted to get out here and get a good run tonight, try and make it to the end. And he's got 2 guys with him that are very, very smart, very, very fast. And he's got the aggression level probably above everybody else. But Jim Johnson and Austin Edwards, they've got that patience. And I think putting Kyle with those 2, man, that's going to be a tough group to beat. And they are going to run down. We're not seeing them as close as what we saw out of Jonathan Schwartz's crew earlier, but I think this is just pure strategy. These guys just keeping that gap, doing what they need to do to gain ground, and letting the cards fall how they may.
Rob, how about Jose Gaudino here in 5th position? He's about to get swallowed up here by this train led by PDJ Zeller. But there is always that one point in a race where you'll find Gaudino in this race. He appeared on lap 85. Stop was 2 minutes and 4 seconds. And you'll find him in the top 10. That's always that one underdog where if he is in it, he's got a really good chance to win it.
Yeah, he's just always seemed to play a completely different strategy than everybody else, and then you sit there and think, oh, he's so stupid, he's gonna get 8 alive, and then somehow even at the end, he's there. I mean, there's always something iffy with him. He's got the fuel strategy down, and he's gonna probably luck out here. He probably took less fuel. PD and their crew, they're gonna come by, pick him up, and then he's going to save that fuel, and then he can probably pit on their cycle then the next time through. So he's gained track position, and he's found some buddies to draft with.
Take a look at our aerial shot here, brought to you by Telesign. Telesign, official partner here of XCAL Racing. Appreciate everything that Tanner Kalin's been doing for us here, offering a wide variety of products such as digital printing, decals, vehicle lettering, apparel, billboards, and more. Over 25 years in business and supporting local short track racing across Canada. Now offering custom iRacing paint schemes starting at $5 to $10. Contact us at telesign.graphics@gmail.com for more info and inquiries. And that $5 to $10, by the way, just a disclaimer, that's Canadian dollars, not U.S. dollars. I'm kidding. It's whatever freaking currency you want it to be.
I've seen Noah Carpenter's running 1 lap down by himself back in 29. Something must have happened where they got a penalty on pit road, or he just screwed up or something, but he's just running by himself. 29's 1 lap down.
Let's go back to that big train we've got going on here in 5th that's led by Zach Edwards here. And Robert, I'll take this back to you, and now it actually looks like it's going to be led by Chris Johnson here. From the looks of it, this is that pack here, and from what we've learned in restrictor plate race in the past, the bigger train you have, the better draft you're going to have. But when it comes to street stocks, usually that's not the case. It all depends on who is out in the front of the field and who can hold the line better.
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to actually 3 important people. It's the guy that's leading. He's got to hold it nice and steady, run the fast line. The guy pushing, he's got to be consistent with all his pushes and hit him square. And then the third guy has to stay up on them and carry the rest of that field around. You can't have any of this backing off and back and forth, because that's just going to slow you down.
Like, as I take a look at this, right, last lap, the drivers were all 36.8, 36.9s. Austin Edwards, Kyle Martin, Jimmy Johnson, 36.4s. And they're doing it consistently, like every lap. Now that time for that pack, the Peloton pack, they're in the 36.4s. But they're not improving any way, shape, or form at the moment here.
Did you notice who's hooked on to the back of that pack with those 3 EHP cars? Jeremy Leto is right there with him. And granted, he is quite a few laps down, but he's doing what he needs to do here later on in the race. That if actually, I should say, when the big one hits, he's going to be able to be in a safe place with 3 good drivers and might be able to pick up a few positions before the night's over.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at John Schwartz. Austin Edwards and his crew's only picked up about 2 seconds on him since he took the lead. He's just riding here with the 37 and 66 and the 56 following. He's just saving that fuel. This might have been the smartest decision of the race so far. So from being almost out of it early just because he lost the draft, now he's leading this race.
With a big lead, and like you said, sitting in the draft as well, he's going to be able to save a lot of fuel. He doesn't have to push hard. He can just sit there behind the 66. He's got a little bit of a push from behind if he starts to lose ground. I think you're right. I think this might be the smartest move, the smartest play of the night.
Absolutely. And that's a team owned by John Brancaccio in that 3766. And JB Smooth and his team, they have a little bit of a small alliance with Johnny B. They'll work together, whether it be in a practice or in a heat if needed. They're good friends, and they'll always race each other really well. Yeah, go ahead, Rob.
Actually, Art Hendren, he's the owner of the
Oh,
team.
that's right. I'm sorry.
Good old Johnny B, though, he's actually running a fast lane car tonight, the number 7 for Jeff.
That's right.
Hey, did you guys see who cracked into the top 10? Up to 8th now, just riding along, playing it safe, but had a good stop and has done a great job so far tonight. The fan club will blow up now. Ryan Seams back up in the top 10.
Not bad from Flying Ryan so far. Let's go to the biggest movers here of this race at the moment. Right now is John Schwartz up 26 positions at the moment. Then up 21 is Chris Johnson. Up 20 is Matt Bear. And then up 16, Mason Foster. Up 15 is PDJ Zeller. That's your top 5 when it comes to the biggest movers of the race. Hearing a warning from Zach Edwards for blanking, and he's starting to do it once again.
That could be a tough hit for him because he's been the big hammer part of that group pushing. So if he has to drop out, I mean, I don't know if Jose's as aggressive to push. Zach would be.
Jose seems to be leaving that little bit of gap. He's not, doesn't seem to like to get up there and push. He does a great job leading a pack as we've seen in the past, but he does not seem to like being in the position to push.
Jose's one, and knowing his style in the past, knowing his style of racing, he's one that doesn't like to make contact. He's one that doesn't really like to bump draft or be bump drafted. He likes to work with the pack, just draft people the right way. But if it gets to those final laps of the race and he's in it, he'll start to bump draft.
Yeah, he plays with a smart head on his shoulders. I mean, me and Jose earlier this season, we've had a couple little run-ins, a little bit of a quiet rivalry. I don't know if we agree to disagree on things, but we've had difference in views. But I mean, he's a clean driver overall. But he doesn't like to be aggressive early, which I can't fault him. I mean, it makes no sense.
Yeah,
go ahead, Doug.
He's been playing it safe a lot of this season, and by doing so and playing that smart head, it puts him in some really good positions. So who knows? And tonight, anything can happen once we get down to that last part of the race.
Absolutely.
That strategy works really good for these bigger tracks too, but it's a defeat. It does not work at these short tracks, and I think that's why we see the difference in results for him, along with others too.
For sure. Update, by the way, on Austin, Kyle, and Jimmy in 2nd through 4th. They're running 36 3s, 36 4s. Leaders running 36 9s. Gap is 16 and a half seconds. What was nearly a entire lap is turned down into half a lap here at the moment. And that lead train led by Chris Johnson, they are losing some time at the moment. 36-63s, like Rob said, comes down to 3 things. One of those things may be displaced at the moment. There's another train let's talk about here. Luke Turpin's kind of dispatched from that train. He's currently in 18th, pitting last, and Lonely cost him a bunch of spots there, that's for sure. Then you've got the pack with the leader in it, led by Art Hendren, Brad Ebley, John Schwartz, and Brent Meckes. Don Jordan, John Triley, Billy Snodgrass, and Johnny B. all working together. And then, Noah Carpenter all by himself. Actually, not by himself anymore. He is working with the EHP guys. So, Robert, is that something that maybe the EHP guys want, having Noah work with them?
If he's riding just at the tail end, I mean, it doesn't really affect them. It probably pains Noah more because there is a little bit of a rivalry there with JNS and HP, and knowing now that you are relying on your rivals to help you, it's kind of like a kick in the nuts. I never really liked it. I mean, but you got to do what you got to do. Sometimes you just got to bury the hatchet for a few laps and just work together.
I did notice, it looks like Noah Carpenter's car has a little bit of right side damage to it that I hadn't seen pre-pit stop. I have to wonder if he just gave the wall a little bit of a kiss at some point since his pit stop.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking. John Schwartz, he has been falling back to the Austin Edwards, Kyle Martin, James Johnson line, but that might not be such a bad thing because he's probably saving and saving and saving. He's probably going to match their fuel. He can actually probably pit with them, and then he's just going to carry around with them, and he's going to still be in this thing.
So working on lap number 110 here at the moment with John Schwartz leading gives us an opportunity to take a look at our first full field rundown of the evening, brought to you by our friends at How to Suck at iRacing. Before we go to the full field rundown, Doug, you've got some big news you announced a couple of days ago. You're now offering subscriptions. Congratulations.
Yep. Excuse me. Yeah, we do have subscriptions, $5 a month. Stars are actually the reason we're putting in the new processor, and we've got big plans for the near future. Subscribers are going to end up with their own little subscription group, and there will be special events, prizes, and more to come as we continue to grow. I was a bit surprised by all the support, so huge shout out to everybody. Already got the first 7. The goal of hitting 100 this month might actually be doable.
We're very happy for you there. Congratulations. So, I'll give you the top 15 here. Oh, hang on. First off, John Schwartz through the grass. Got cut off from Arhendren. Rob, looks like there may have been a little bit of miscommunication, but for JB, keeps it straight, keeps the lead. But, man, lost a lot of time.
Yeah, he probably changed his pants after that one.
Doug, do you have a replay for us brought to you by Tri Inc?
I bet we do. Let's take a quick look as there is Schwartz, and looks like Art gets a little bobble. I think Art came actually off the apron a little bit. Coming out of turn 4, gets a bobble. Comes up, Schwartz just barely avoids touching, but what a great job by Jonathan Schwartz saving it and not going around, but keeping his foot down, doing a little rallycross driving.
All right, so let's take a look at how the field looks. John Schwartz, currently a race leader, up 26 spots, your biggest mover of the race. The champion Austin Edwards is second. Kyle Martin third, Jimmy Johnson fourth, second through fourth, all working together. Then leading the biggest train here, Chris Johnson in 5th, Zach Edwards 6th, Jose Gaudino 7th, Ryan Seams 8th, PDJ Zeller 9th, Alex Krapser rounds out the top 10. Matt Bear rides 11th, Mason Foster 12th, Steve Rex 13th, Jonathan Bergeron 14th, Jeff Edgar rounds out the top 15. Doug?
Joe Campbell, the winner here back in January, currently runs back in 16th. Albie Hewan's having another good run. He's been coming on strong the second part of this season, currently in 17th. Luke Turpin, the fuel-saving king, back in 18th, playing a little strategy here early, but seems to be starting to make his way forward again. Greg Hull's having a great run, up 10 spots into 19th. Sean Patrick had some blinking issues earlier, now back in 20th. Blake Wynn currently running in 21st. He's been playing it safe most of the night. Art Hendren back in 22nd. Brad Eblake currently holds on to 23rd. Brent Mekas back in 24th, and Don Jordan in 25th. John Friley currently runs in 26th, with John Brancaccio sitting back in 27th. 28th is Billy Snodgrass, a surprise to see him not up in the battle, and Noah Carpenter, after some issues earlier on, currently running in 29th, trying to make his way forward. Jeremy Leto back in 30th after that hard hit into the outside wall. And Gerald Thanos Poole out of the race due to connection issues.
Absolutely. Excuse me, tough break for him indeed. Web shop. The XCAL Racing web shop makes you take a look at it online for all your XCAL Racing needs. Our newest products include a Will PD plastic yard sign. Election season is underway, so you gotta get that plastic yard sign saying vote for Will PD. Excuse me, a purple Pud Star Child men's classic tee. And Christmas is coming up, so why not a Will PD stocking 2022 edition? Oh, and a whole lot more at the XCAL Racing webshop.com. Fuel Factor X, presented by KMU Trucking and Excavating. That's the official sponsor of Victory Lane. The unique Fuel Factor X formula containing multiple ingredients, each designed for a specific purpose, just like superfood for your engine, has an all-in-one solution. You can increase fuel economy, prolongs engine life, and reduces wear, reduces harmful emissions and pollutant, and improves vehicle performance and horsepower. For more details, make sure you check out mydailychoice.com/DeCarlo Buckeyes. 116 laps are complete here in this one. No change really amongst the field. We did have a change, I want to say, for 6th spot. Nope, actually, yes, it was for 6th. Zach Edwards did get past Jose Gaudino and Ryan Seams, so he is 2nd to Chris Johnston. And now they approach Noah Carpenter here. So, Robert, how do they deal with this? We see it right there.
That looks like Jeremy Leto, actually.
Yes, it is Leto. Thank you.
Just Leto, just do your thing and run up high there. I mean, it's only going to help him. Just let the line run past you. You can hook onto the end of it and save some fuel. Don't race him or anything like that. This race here, people watching, it's starting to look boring because guys are just running in a straight line right now doing their thing. But if you were in the car and you're driving, there's so much going through your head of like, who am I around? How much fuel do I have? When are we going to pit? Now we got to throw off these guys that were around because we got to jump up in front of them. It's looking boring, but things are going to intensify here as the race goes on, and mistakes are going to start to happen. That thing we talked about earlier, patience, it's going to come back here. People are going to be impatient, and we probably will see a wreck here, but it's all going to come down to somebody being impatient.
Well, now that you mention that, we'll hop in and do a lap or so, and Sean Patrick, who's at the back of that big group, and you see one of the things about these cars, not only are you thinking about all these these cars are never, ever really planted. There's not a ton of grip out there. The cars are big and heavy. The tires are not nearly as wide as what you'd see on a NASCAR car, and these cars just never have a lot of grip. Plus that soft suspension. Charlotte's not the smoothest track out there, and you see them bouncing around. They'll shift up half a lane like Blake Wynn just did. They could even bounce up a full lane if they hit corner entry wrong. The drivers are always excited, and it's just one of those points in the race where they have a moment to catch their breath before the chaos breaks out again.
Yeah, with them softer springs and everything, it's going to make that car roll more, which, it's going to feel comfy. I mean, but with the track gripping up, with it getting darker out now, lights are coming on, tire wear is going to become an issue. Who's wheeling the car in harder, burning up that right front, that's going to cause you to get tighter. These guys that are better at driving looser race cars, they're going to start to set themselves up in the corner a little differently. If they don't, they're going to fall way off. I can't drive a tight race car. A lot of guys that race dirt, we can't drive tight race cars. We like feeling that back end come out. So that's where some of the stuff's going to take effect into with the setup now.
Absolutely. So 122 laps are in the books. John Schwartz currently leads. Gap down to 8 seconds on Austin Edwards, Kyle Martin, and Jimmy Johnson. Stay with us. We go side by side.
This is my good friend who had cancer when we were really little, and he was able to beat it through early detection, and now he just recently graduated from Santa Clara.
My dad was diagnosed with cancer my freshman year of high school. Thanks to early detection, he now gets to see me graduate from college.
"8 years ago, my mom was diagnosed with cancer, but thanks to early detection, I'll get to spend this Christmas with her."
My dad was diagnosed with cancer when I was 10, and he passed away soon after. Maybe if we had early detection, he would have been able to be there to walk me down the aisle.
Early detection saves lives. We are back here with 128 laps complete. John Schwartz currently leads in this big pack. The gap is going down big time, like you're falling off Mount Everest. Under 5 seconds between him and Austin Edwards. Edwards still getting a push from Martin, Johnson, and Carpenter. Meanwhile, they're 15 seconds ahead of the driver in 5th. That's still Chris Johnson. So no change amongst the top 5, with the exception of the huge gap that's going down for the race lead, Rob.
Yeah, right now the worst thing possible has happened with Schwartz though too, and that's his two teammates actually behind him. Schwartz needs to get behind my old number 94 here and let Friley have his lap back, and that would help Schwartz save some more fuel. He's burning up everything that he worked hard to save for.
Remember, there is a big alliance there. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, it looks like Schwartz is listening to you, because he just hopped to the high side and he is not pushing the issue. He's going to let him come by.
Yeah, I think he's listening to that broadcast big time there, Robert.
Yeah, I wonder if they were just trying to get around Art. Maybe the 94 is a little bit faster, and the 7 can push the 94, and I'm surprised. Oh, there he goes. I was going to say I was surprised he wasn't going to drop in there.
So now Johnny B pushing Robert. Or I'm sorry, pushing John.
That whole inside line right now, they are, working together. I mean, those are affiliates. That's, Johnny B and driving for Fastlane, who's actually used to drive with Art Hendren's team. What is that, Satellite Munitions Motorsports or something? So they're all working together, save some fuel. JB's in a very good spot right now.
Meanwhile, and you just saw it in one of our shots a couple moments ago, Austin and his team are there. It's down to 2 1/4 seconds. They were a second better than JB last lap, so they could strike in just about 3 laps from now. Want to confirm Gerald Poole's retirement. Apparently what he said was kid hit a pole down the street, interrupted his cable signal, was up front running the pack, cost 3 to 4 laps of fuel run, and nowhere pushed into the back of the car, crinkled it up a little bit. I think he was talking about that huge wad that happened a couple moments ago. So.
Well, he was talking about earlier on when we were looking at Noah's car and that right side being all crinkled up. I think that's what he was referencing, because Noah's right side was really, really crinkled up, and I don't know, there's a very high probability if Noah didn't crank it up, he might be doing the dishes.
Absolutely.
Gerald, I'd be going down the street and asking that kid, if his insurance covers XCAL, because he just cost you some money tonight.
Oof. Yeah.
Maybe give him a little smack over the head.
Hey, he is Thanos. He could just snap the kid out and dust him for a few days and learn him a lesson.
Anyway, let us know who you're rooting for in the chat.
Hello to Jeremy saying, is this the... What? Is this... Okay. Can't believe I'm saying this right now. Is this the Peepaw Canes and Walker's 500?
Well, you see, Jeremy Gardner is one of the Nowski drivers on Wednesday night, and he made the mistake of annoying the broadcaster one night. And so I asked him if he was, if he had changed his diaper and got his bottle and his binky ready for his race. And yeah, since I am actually a grandfather, he's constantly calling me Peepaw. So there you have it.
Hello to Stephen and Jody, rooting for Mason Foster. Hello to Danny, as always, rooting for Joe and all the JNS drivers. That's on Facebook. Let me see here. Has anyone said anything on Twitch tonight?
Not that I have seen, no.
All
Twitch
right.
has been quiet. The whole chat's been quiet. It's the final race of the season, y'all. Get loud. Cheer on your drivers.
All right, we've got the Seams crew getting excited. Steven, Devilcore, up in there. Tyler McRae's actually watching as well. Says Stewart and Earnhardt LOL stop line. I think he was referring to the big wad that broke out between Campbell and Lutto. I'm not too sure though.
I think that was the bump draft in Stewart and Earnhardt.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Tyler's always giving me a hard time. Good
Now I
fella,
get
though.
it.
Good fella.
Let's go to the battle for the race lead. That's starting to develop. Half second now between Schwartz and Edwards as they've merged into the lead pack with John. But again, keep in mind, Schwartz is due up for a pit stop in about 10 laps from now. As he did a field stop that was 22 seconds quicker than Austin Edwards. Got cautions yet to come tonight for him, Robert.
I think the only way we'll see a caution, it's all in the driver's hands, which is always is, but like this literally is, if you just want to be a dumbass, that's when the caution is going to come out. I mean, all it takes is one guy to get impatient, pull out, push somebody the wrong way, like we seen earlier whenever Leto tried to throw a late block, momentum from Martin
Look at
carried.
this. Sorry, go ahead.
We got to switch there. This is, they're getting ready for pits, but it makes me wonder, with that crew of Edwards there, though, how much fuel did they burn up to catch Schwartz? Did Schwartz actually end up saving more? He took less and has more fuel now,
Absolutely.
and they had to work that hard.
That could be a good point there. That's an excellent point. As we saw that switch, Kyle Martin now taking away second from Austin Edwards, and so they're still working together. Still one car separating them as once they get past Art Hendren. Actually now make it 2 cars as Hendren drops down low in front of Brent Meckes. Meckes has been really quiet here. We saw him up front early in the race, but then, Doug, the pit stops just been quiet since.
Well, I think Meckes he came back out of pit stops in pretty good position, but then he kind of just dropped back a little bit, and he came out with not a lot of help, so he dropped back into this pack, and just ended up falling behind a little bit. But I'm not counting him out yet because he has been, any group he's been in, he's been just as fast as the fastest guy in that group. I think if Meckes gets back to the lead lap and gets an opportunity here, you know, anything could happen. We got people cheering on Brad Eble, who's now in 23rd place and continuing to make his way forward. And you know, Luke Turpin's still lurking back there. He's been playing some fuel strategy. And you got, look at who's in 13th. Steven Rex is back up into 13th. And Mason Foster, who we saw up front earlier, but then had some issues, went backwards. He's now back up into 12th.
Absolutely.
Meckes, he pit by himself. Well, Meckes, he pit by himself. He pit a lot earlier than everybody else.
Oh, yes.
And I'm wondering how bad that hurt him when he came back out, if he was alone or not.
Yeah.
These XCAL pit stops, you have to be pretty aggressive. You can't just be lollydolling down the pit road. You got to be aggressive the whole time because you can lose a lot of time. I mean, look at Luke Turpin.
Point. Excellent point there. Hello to Jason Coleman watching, and Danny back out there in the chat once again. So while we're at it, we've got 142 laps complete. Doug, what do you say? You think it's that time once again to do it?
Okay.
Let's turn up that surround sound. Time to crank it up here at Charlotte. John Schwartz is in the pits, and so we've got a new leader, Kyle Martin. That's the 22nd lead change of the day. We've had 11 different leaders, by the way, if you've just joined us. That's nearly half the field here at the moment.
Schwartz is on pit road alone, so he had no help out there whatsoever. And as we saw with Turpin, that may end up biting him. Huge shout out, Danny. Thank you for the stars, ma'am.
Yes, Schwartz can come out with a pack here. That could help him, but yeah, I'm interested to see what he does on fuel here, and also interested to see how long Martin and those guys, how long they stay out, because that's going to start to give you a picture of what kind of pit strategy we're working with here.
Yeah, it's
So,
go ahead,
yeah,
Marty.
we've got some racing developing here in that lead pack. Kyle Martin, or excuse me, Chris Johnson, Alex Krapser have had enough of the single file racing as they have lost time. In fact, they're 16 seconds behind the third place car and Jimmy Johnson in that lead pack. They said, screw it. We're just going to go up to the outside and just see if we can be faster in front.
This is where you can see a wreck happen. Excuse me. You can see where a wreck happens, though, is one guy maybe, okay, well, they're not going fast enough, so I'm going to pull out here. I'm going to do it. Well, then that guy decides to pick up pace. Then they start racing, and then next thing you know, here we are in the wall.
So I know, Robert, I know you've raced with Kyle before, but were you aware of his nickname when you race him? And when a guy has a nickname like that, does it worry you when you're racing this close?
I learned his nickname the first night I broadcast with you. I knew how dangerous he was. I mean, and that's the thing is, it would irritate me because I feel like Austin would get a bad rap for some of the guys he bring over, because Austin's a very good, respectful, clean race car driver. Very good, very nice, very knowledgeable. And then he gets some of these guys over here, like Rocky Boyd and Kyle Martin and them. And Kyle's all right. We had a little block there. Kyle's all right, but Austin, let's vet them out a little bit more before you bring them over here.
It has definitely been interesting, some of the drivers that have come and gone this season. I think we saw probably the worst last week, but there have been a few bumpy spots this season.
I put Sobo above everybody, and I was in that race, and man, it sucks so bad. I had no part in any of the rivalry. I was just out to have a run, and I love short track racing, and it pissed me off. I was getting turned by guys and getting caught up in other guys' stuff. It was getting quite annoying, and I think that's where we're going to see some of the retirements come this season, though. Guys moving from full-time to part-time, because the respect, it's gotten a lot better later in this season, but it's got to still get better. You guys got to respect each other out there on the racetrack. You can't win it on lap 1, turn 1. I mean, mistakes happen, but just give some room.
Taking a look now from our Telesign blimp. Telesign offering a wide variety of products such as digital printing, decals, vehicle lettering, apparel, billboards, and much more. Over 25 years in business and supporting local short track racing across Canada, offering custom iRacing paint schemes starting at $5 to $10. Contact us at telesign.graphics@gmail.com for more info and inquiries.
Now that XCAL is taking, we've got a break until the Bellaboo here in a few weeks, but I'm going to use Tuesday nights to start getting some racing of my own. I might have to have Telesign paint me up a car or two.
I don't know what I'm going to do with Tuesday when there's no XCAL Tuesdays for the rest of the year. Probably just iRace and chill.
Yeah.
Or
I'll be drinking.
or just spend Tuesdays hanging out with some friends in person.
Well, I know my girlfriend, Angie, she's been really patient with this, because I know when we started dating, she had no idea what to expect, but she tunes in every week, and tunes into a lot of races, cheers us on, so really appreciate it. So she'll get some more time, and I'll get some racing. And there's been a few times, once, that I've had her out on track, so we might have her go out and do some more practice, maybe some AI races, and see how she does, because, man, she does amazing in a Pro 4 truck.
Yeah, games are starting, more broadcasts are starting to happen at the schools I work for, so those will happen on Tuesday nights, and then when both of them are on the road, it's date night.
And you never know, we may have to get together and have a drinking competition.
Yeah, I'm down. I mean, I've even had to spend a few nights in a crossbar motel because they said I drink too much. So I've been cutting back a little bit here on my drinking, but it's always nice to be up here in a booth and drink some beer. And
20 years ago, I'd probably have been in that hotel with you. In fact, I probably was in that hotel a few times back in the day.
yeah, and they tell y'all it ain't free. It ain't free. I think it was about $65 a night. So yeah, it ain't free.
So anyway, we're a couple laps away from our second round of green flag pit stops, and now here's the big question here. First off, if you're John Schwartz, he could be the leader when everybody pits because he is in a draft, and a big draft as well. How do you approach it, Colgan, if you're him?
Oh, right now he's kind of screwed because I expected to see maybe a few other people pit, but like you just said, I mean, everybody else has to pit, so there's going to probably be some break time when he's going to be out there by himself, and I mean, it takes a couple laps for these cars to pit, so he's going to A, be burning off that fuel, B, he's going to be running slower lap times. I mean, and he's going to lose so much time here, so if he gets lucky and can just keep towing off of other lines, it'll probably work out. But it just depends on what fuel he took and how long he's out there by himself.
Absolutely. So now we know the top three can be fast with or without other guys in their draft. But then what if you're this pack here in fourth that's led by Jose Gaudino? How do you approach that then, Doug?
Man, coming down to pit stops, probably going to just give a little bit of room. Knowing you got to get this pit stop, I'm going to be careful. It's the second green flag pit stop of the night, or third, excuse me. And these guys have to be extremely careful, but this is probably the last chance these guys are going to have to kind of take it easy, maybe play a long game strategy, get 4 tires and fuel, and then get going. If you're going to have a long pit stop, this is your last chance to do it, because from here on out, man, you got to be sending it every second.
Absolutely. We do have one driver in the pits, though, at the moment. Chris Johnson, the first one in, and Big Con here, Robert, he's in by himself.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, coming in by yourself isn't as big a deal as running out there like Luke Turpin did by yourself. You can come out and get lucky and pick up a draft. You can pull yourself back to the draft, but you just don't want to stay out. And I was surprised Luke Turpin, of all people, he didn't just stay out one more lap. It was multiple laps, I believe, he stayed out. And that is part of the problem. I mean, I think he saved so much fuel, he thought, I can go longer, but not everybody else could do that.
We'll keep you tracked on green flag pit stops here as we work lap 160. Kyle Martin leads Austin Edwards, James Johnson, Jose Gaudino, and Matt Bill. Stay with us as we go side by side.
Are you ready to chase the moonlight? Community-based and talent-driven, Moonlight Speed Concepts has what you need to take your iRacing experience to the next level. Founded by passionate owners that care about the community and housing some of the top setup builders and drivers on the platform, Moonlight Speed Concepts offers custom paints, driver coaching, and setups for dirt, asphalt short track racing, and e-NASCAR competition. Partnered with top brands in both real world and simulation. Follow us on Facebook or visit moonlightspeed.com and find out why these businesses chase the moonlight and why you should too. Moonlight Speed Concept, where all we chase is moonlight.
All right.
Pit stops are underway, and now to the race lead, Mason Foster. Back out in front. This is lead change number 24 on the day. We are past the halfway mark here in the Mad for Ashley 454. Marty Sakala alongside Doug Burns and Robert Colgan. So glad you could join us here. If you've just joined us, it's been an interesting race. We've had mostly in this run a race of calmness. But earlier on, we had a race of intensity.
Yeah, it's tamed down for the moment, but as we were talking about on the break and right before the break, you know, this round of pit stops, we're just past the halfway, and now, guys, this field is a bit spread out, but guys have to make something happen. If they're farther back, they've got to fight their way toward the front, and the guys up front, they've got to start being a little bit more protective of their position, so we're going to see a little bit different race going forward from here. Colgan, what's your thoughts on the guys that are further back now? What can they do to make their way up?
It's a bigger pack, like we see Mason Foster leading. If they see that they've fallen back more, the intensity might get up and the impatience level might get up. That's going to be what probably causes the wreck. I wouldn't want to be in a big pack right now. Because from this moment on, I mean, someone has to do something to get something done, and it's whether they make a mistake doing it or not.
I gotta tell you something as well. Now that they're the leaders, something is working with Mason Foster and Matt Bear 1 and 2. 36-2s, high 36-2s, low 36-3s. It's working out really well for them at the moment here, Doug.
Yeah, they've got something figured out. Notice back there in third place is Ryan Seams, and this front group is definitely figuring something out. I'm just not 100% sure what it is, because these lap times are actually a little bit slower than what I would expect right now with the cooler track and with the sun being down. These guys should have more grip, more speed. The cooler airs help the engines run harder. I don't know. I think some of these guys are playing a little game at the front.
Yeah, Mason's a pretty good little plate racer, and Matt Bear is a very aggressive guy. He's given some aggressive pushes. It's a good match to make up time. And then you got Ryan Seams right there behind him. He's just a good, solid racer in general. So, yeah, that's looking like a good line. I mean, you got Schwartz and Petey there, Steven Rex, I believe, in the 27 car. Yep. So you got a good, solid line of racers there. Rex coming down.
Rex coming in.
It looked like Rex might have had a little problem getting down onto pit road, man. We see some guys make some aggressive moves down, and that wasn't the most aggressive, but it looked like as he came off, we talked about how soft the suspension is, but it can only go so far before that car starts to come around, and he was right on the edge of that.
It's one of them ones, though, too, is like you guys have made so much time up in that line. You don't want to be laying off way too much. You don't want to be too conservative getting on, because then you're going to slow that line back up. and just destroy the time you've made up. So you got to kind of find that in between. So these guys are going to try to make the most last second turn on a pit road without losing time for them or anybody.
Yeah, and we're seeing some guys work through the draft and make their way up here. Matt Bear, Ryan Seams, Mason Foster. Here they come.
Yeah, it's
wow.
That's interesting as well how nearly scary it was because of the Black Sheep Racing drivers coming on out at the same time.
That not only got sketchy and scary, but oh wow! Oh,
man, look
Ryan!
how much they're sending it. Close calls to 45-mile-an-hour pit speed.
Ryan Seams almost got packed.
Yeah. 25th lead change today unofficially from PDJ Zeller.
And not many people realize, I mean, that is right in that section is where you make or break on a pit stop. It's not the fuel, it is literally on pit road. You can't be lollygagging around. And some of these more laid back guys, Petey's coming in now too. Some of these laid back guys, yeah, they take their time down pit road and they don't realize how much time they actually lose. You're racing on pit road still. Just because you're going down pit road doesn't mean you're getting a break yet. You get a break when you get in your pit stall.
Yeah, you really got to try and send it right to that cone, get down to speed at the last minute. And some of these tracks, as we've seen all season long, as Luke Turpin goes back to the lead, some of these tracks, it is a bit tricky getting down there and carrying as much momentum as possible. I did find it interesting to see those three make. Luke Turpin's coming in. Those guys dropping to the bottom, then came back up. It looked like they were trying to break the draft just a little bit there.
Absolutely. Hello to Steven out there, and hello to Carol. We've got a Brent Meckes fan in chat. Thanks for tuning on in tonight. Anyway, leader comes on in. We'll see who comes on out. First guy that is pitted at the moment is currently Jimmy Johnson at 25. James Johnson, Austin Edwards working together. And where is Kyle Martin? Martin, with a very long pit stop, went 256. Did he have damage or something? Because this was a guy who was in the race. Oh, you know what?
That's exactly, I think, about the time you'd be on pit road extra for a speeding penalty.
Yep, I had a feeling. I think we talked about it in break. I mean, that's what it was going to take. And, you say about Jimmy Johnson.
Yep.
And Jimmy, there's another guy named Jimmy Johnson that used to own this place.
Yeah, that is true.
He's right.
It could. It just struck me now. I mean, it could happen tonight.
That would be awesome to see Jim pull off the win. But I do have to make a comment about something we're seeing in the comments. Petey, don't text and drive. Petey's on pit road at the moment, but he was texting, I think, while he was out on the track. He just texted it's back to racing, so hopefully he'll be getting back out here. But it does look like Jim Johnson is going to take the lead for the first time. Go get some, Jim.
Petey's saying a message, don't text and drive at the same time, by the way. So
He's listening. I'm still undecided, living over here in Pittsburgh country, of who I'm going to support on Sunday, because we got our boy Pickett in now, and I still got to go with the Bills.
That's my boy. That's my boy. How about that comeback, baby?
I mean, win or lose, I guess I win, because, Pittsburgh, we got Pittsburgh here, so still want to see them Bills go.
I like Kenny Pickett. I'm a big Kenny Pickett fan. I'm so glad he now has the call to start. He deserves it. I don't think Trubisky deserved it at all. He is a bust, in my opinion, in the National Football League. He was a bust with the Chicago Bears. I kept getting a couple years ago in my fantasy football team trade requests for Mitch Trubisky. I would always say, no, no, no. I do not want Mitchell.
Speaking of busts, unrelated to football, but I did just see Jeremy Gardner drop back in, and his diaper may be busting. Somebody might need to go get him changed and get him a binky.
Uh-oh. By the way, I can confirm, too, that it was a speeding penalty for Kyle Martin. He went 50 and a 45. That is a no-no. That will get you busted. And Martin's actually getting approached by the leaders, I should say, so he'll definitely work with them. So as of right now, it's currently turning down to into a two-car race for the win. Now we did see two drivers take some risks here. Both Brett Ebley and Don Jordan went 95-second stops in order to move their way up towards the field. They're up in 3rd and 5th. John Schwartz is in 4th, and we got to change for the lead. Austin Edwards to the bottom of the racetrack, and he goes to the point.
And McRacken
Kyle
slides
Martin
in.
They're going to try to help out Kyle Martin here, and they still got Leto back there.
Austin
Yeah, they do.
Absolutely. So Austin would become the 9th different leader of this race, and he would be it would be the 28th lead change. And yes, that is confirmed, by the way, for those wondering. Let's take a look at a full field rundown here, brought to you by How to Suck at iRacing. Before we do, Doug, what's coming up on How to Suck at iRacing?
Well, tomorrow night, the Nowski Nation returns as they continue their playoffs. 5 drivers were eliminated last week, and it's getting pretty close in that battle. Then you've got a bunch of GT3 racers, including Matt Bear will be there Sunday morning. And, of course, Sunday night, BRR returns for the start of their season. Plus, we have, as always, Jones BS Racing on Monday, and very, very soon, we'll have the big Bellaboo event for XCAL. Looking forward to that. And a huge shout out to my lifelong buddy, John Drever, who just dropped into the chat.
Absolutely. So, Doug, I'll have you take the top 15.
All right, up front. Petey is still texting and driving. Oh, my goodness. Austin.
Oh, my God. Petey, don't wreck the damn car, whatever you do.
He's got voice to text. He's got voice to text.
Ah, Petey. Ah, Petey.
Anyway, Austin Edwards goes to the point. He is already crowned the champion for this season, looking for that record-breaking 11th win here tonight, and getting some bonus points in as well. Jim Johnson currently runs second, one of his best runs of the season, and look for him to give Austin a run for his money at the end. Brad Eblay playing a little bit of strategy, now up into third, battling with Mason Foster, who has gone back to front tonight. Fifth place is Jonathan Schwartz. Also a lot of back and forth out of him here tonight. Jonathan Bergeron is the top running Canadian, currently in fifth as he comes by Schwartz. Don Jordan back in seventh. Now Flying Ryan seems the man with the biggest fan club out there in eighth. Zach Edwards currently running in ninth. And January's winner, Joe Campbell, who was back in the 20s not that long ago, he's cracked back into the top 10. He's got help from his teammate Alex Krapser in 11th. Stephen Rex hanging on back there in 12th place. Luke Turpin currently running in 13th, playing some fuel strategy here as always. Albie Hewins in 14th, and Jose Godino still holding on in 15th, Marty.
Matt Bear in 16th, PDJ Zeller, who probably has the only sim rig in iRacing to have CarPlay, currently runs in 17th, had to say that. Blake Wynn is 18th, Chris Johnson 19th, Jeff Edgar rounds out the top 20, Sean Patrick 21st, final car in the lead lap is Greg Hulse in 22nd. First 3 cars a lap down, John Friley 23rd, Billy Snodgrass 24th, Noah Carpenter 25th. They'd receive the free pass if we were to receive a yellow flag right now. John Brancaccio 26th, Brent Meckes 27th, Art Hendren 28th, Kyle Martin 29th, Jeremy Leto 30th, and the one car out of the race is Thanos Poole, only completed 40 laps.
Well, guys, I'm going to have to dip out of here. I have other things I have to do. But it's been a fun season. You guys have made it easy. Just want to say, XCAL, I had to cut short early this season, but it's a great league. Aaron does a hell of a job organizing these events. Petey, it's sad to hear he's going to retire after this year, but it's completely understandable. I know what it's like. I mean, being a single dad and all that stuff. I mean, running my own business, personal life stuff, it gets in the way with things. But hope to see Petey around still. Hope to see a lot of these guys back. And, like I said, I mean, it's just been fun. And maybe next season I'll be in the booth. Maybe I'll run some part-time stuff.
Colgan, you're the man, dude. Hell of a season, bud. I know we had our ups and downs, mostly ups, but great season, man. Awesome way to end the season with you in the booth. You do a great job covering the sport.
Thank you. Yeah, you guys have been great.
It's been a pleasure having you, Robert. I hope you come back next season. You're welcome to join me anytime, buddy.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. All right, take it easy. That's Robert Colgan. Great year for him. Now we focus back on the Peloton train. We just had a change for 4th spot. Mason Foster making his way up into the spot. Jonathan Bergeron 5th. Jonathan Schwartz 6th. Don Jordan has dropped to 7th. Brett Ebley still leading this train in 3rd. I take it that's not really what the drivers want. However, though, they're 9 seconds behind Austin Edwards. And remember, it was 16 seconds before pit stop. So,
but that gap is, looking at it right now, that gap is stabilized at about 9.1 from Jim Johnson to Brad Ebley. They are not making, no, holy cow. Mason bump drafting through 3 and 4, got Ebley a little sideways, but man, these guys are not gaining any ground, not losing any ground, but that's not, Mason Foster's making the effort here.
Absolutely. Mason's playing with fire there, doing a little bit of bump drafting with Ebley there in the corners, and Ebley doesn't want that at all. He kind of has, how do I put this, a sensitive car every time he races. So if he gets touched at all in the race, chances are his car's going sideways. So he doesn't want that. But having a good job there in 3rd. Not surprised we're seeing him up at the front of the field, doing a great job.
Well, you have to go on what Colgan said a few moments ago. Some of these dirt guys, they come out here and they love that loose handling race car. I personally like it to be a little loose, but some of these guys are just on the edge of snapping loose, and that bump draft could be fatal. But then again, you got the dirt guys know how to rein that car in from being completely sideways. So who knows?
Driver we haven't talked about yet today is Stephen Rex. He's been running near the front today. He is a contender at these super speedways every time we come to one. Currently running in 12th position. How do you see him going here as we are nearly in the final third of this race?
Well, I have to think that, Rex came charging through the field. Holy cow, right in front of him it gets sketchy.
That's Carpenter and Lotto.
Yeah, it was. It's getting a little bit dicey out there, and these guys are not lead lap cars at the moment, but they're battling like it's the last lap, and they're running for the win. But I think Stephen Rex, he is always going to be in contention at one of these plate tracks, and I think you'll see him come charging forward now that we're this late in the race, and especially after that last pit stop, the plate experts, they're going to come flying forward.
Absolutely. So the first guy on the outside there in that lead pack, is that Joe in the 63? It is, currently in 10th spot. He's trying to get something working here with Krapser and Carpenter. And Joe's very good on that outside. We learned that at the start of the race. Closing in on his teammate Zach Edwards. He may let Zach move up, but the thing is, he has been blinking in this race, no surprise. May let Ryan Seams move up too. What's the answer going to be, or do they come up after they get clear of Carpenter? See, there you go. Zach just blinked again. He has been warned, by the way, already.
Yeah, Seams is right there, and man, if you want somebody to help pull this group together, Seams would be a great choice right now. It'd be great to see Seams pull up and lead the group. Zach drop to the back. He'd still be of some benefit. It's worth reminding the folks at home that due to the way the physics are, holy cow, it gets sketchy on the front straightaway. Due to the way the physics are, if the car is not seen on track, then the draft effect is not there. So having a blinking car in front of you is both dangerous for the risks you're taking, but additionally, you lose that aero benefit. So that's why it would be great to have Zach at the back. So if he disappears, it's not a huge impact, but when he's there, he can help push.
Absolutely. Again, Zach Edwards currently in the 11th position. What happened, by the way, on that last pit stop to Matt Bear? He has fallen all the way back to the 17th position we were just talking about before pit stops, being inside the top 10. Now he's back in 17th, but he is working, though, with PDJ Zeller.
Yeah, and I think we've seen tonight, Petey can definitely pull a group to the front. And as we've seen in the past, Matt Bear knows how to push somebody forward. I don't think that these two guys are out of it yet. They're showing 6 seconds behind Jose Godino, but they are gaining on him. And man, once they get hooked up with that 3-car pack led by Luke Turpin, I think that 5 cars combined is going to make their way forward rather quickly.
Absolutely. Let's a couple of other guys here in the field that we've been talking about throughout the race today. Kyle Martin still scored in 29th after his pit road penalty, and you see once again he's working with Austin and James. How about for James? If James Johnson, with a chance to, I think, if I got my math correctly, would be his first XCAL racing win, but that's going to be tough because he's got to go against the champ who is looking to break the record.
It would be his first points-paying race. I do believe Jim had a win in one of the heats for the massive Welpede event last season, so it would be his first points-paying win. And he has been close on more than one occasion. He's been in the top 5 towards the end of races, then something goes catastrophically wrong. He's had some good finishes. He's had some great runs, led some races, but man, hopefully tonight's the night he can put it all together. If Thanos can't pull off the win tonight, you know, I'd love to see my buddy Jim get her done.
Absolutely. Hello to Josh Ruby, rooting for Brad. Again, currently right in 3rd position. A 135 pit stop. Now, he pitted on lap 166. I would expect him in maybe 30 laps from now, or maybe 25, because we're expecting the final stops to be just around lap 250 or so.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see pit strategy on this one, because the guys could actually stop right around lap 220 and make it to the end. But stretching the fuel mileage to the last possible second is an option here. And so many different strategies could play out. It's going to come down to who you're with and what strategy they're working on. Because as we've seen a lot of guys pit alone throughout this race, you definitely cannot pit alone on that final stop.
I think, Doug, with the way this race is going, I think the advantage is going to the drivers that have been making the stops right on every 85 laps or so. But now here's my question, though. When we come to lap 250, first off, are you taking tires or not?
Yeah, I think you're going to take at minimum right side tires. Getting confirmation, Petey, who is voice texting us, said Jim did not win a heat last during the Master Will PD, so I stand corrected. And Austin has never won a plate track, so strategy here is going to be interesting for both of these guys up front. And you know, right now they've got a 10-second lead over Eblay, and it continues. I think this last stop, I think it's going to come down at most. You probably, if you can get away with right sides only and as little fuel as possible to make it to the end, that's what we're going to see a lot of guys do. But if these guys, the guys that come in earlier, they're going to take 4 tires and fuel and see if the tires can help.
But there's another question in mind. When you take fuel, are you going to play that game of chicken? Are you going to be like Luke Turpin? Are you going to pit later and just take the bare minimum enough to go the distance? Because that's how a lot of drivers have won in the past.
That's how a lot of drivers have won in the past, but this season that has yet to work out. So I don't think we see anybody play chicken here tonight. I think we're going to see everybody. I don't think we're going to see many pit stops past 50 laps to go. I think around 253, all the pit stops should be done.
Hey, Petey, if you're voice texting us, why don't you text us your strategy?
You know, we've tried to get Danny to give us strategy in the past, and she always just makes a little smart aleck remark for us. So, Danny, what's the strategy here for the JNS cars tonight?
Probably gonna be like, you'll see.
I guarantee you that strategy has something with putting Joe back in victory lane tonight.
Absolutely. All right, we're reaching the final third. Just over 103 laps to go. Austin Edwards, James Johnson, Brett Ebley, Mason Foster, Jonathan Bergeron. That's the top 5. Stay with us here at Charlotte.
This is my good friend who had cancer when we were really little, and he was able to beat it through early detection, and now he just recently graduated from Santa Clara.
This picture's really funny. My dad was diagnosed with cancer my freshman year of high school. Thanks to early detection, he now gets to see me graduate from college.
Eight years ago, my mom was diagnosed with cancer, but thanks to early detection, I'll get to spend this Christmas with her.
My dad was diagnosed with cancer when I was 10, and he passed away soon after. Maybe if we had early detection, he would have been able to be there to walk me down the aisle. Early detection saves lives.
"98 laps to go here in the Mad for Ashley 454, the final race here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Marty Scala alongside Doug Burns. Update on that lead pack, by the way. 2 drivers have broken away from it. Mason Foster and Jonathan Bergeron have said, all right, it's time to go to work. Let's get away from the Black Sheep Racing drivers. They are working together very well in 3rd and 4th and keeping their gap constant of 12.5 seconds.
Mason definitely got a bit aggressive to get Ebley out of the way and get this group clear, but him and Bergeron are hooked up perfectly here and getting it done. Worth noting an update on the strategy of the JNS teams. There is a plan in motion, is what Danny told us, and all we're hearing out of Thanos is, hey, he is on the pit box now, and he is running the numbers, but no hints whatsoever as to what that strategy might be. I think they're holding their cards pretty close to the vest, looking for another win here tonight.
Nobody is liking this from nobody's liking this from Steven Rux and John Schwartz on back, because the Black Sheep Racing drivers, they made this a double wide pack. Oh, no, there they go!
Is.
Rux, hard in the wall with Ebley. Caution flag is out.
Oh!
The 94 of Friley in it. And this is going to change everything. That is not what the top two wanted.
And let's take a look at this replay. Wow, that went horribly bad very, very quickly.
It looks like Schwartz just pretty much hooked the 56 in the Tri-Ink replay.
Oh, man. Schwartz hooked him and then just completely disappeared. And it was a hard hit for Friley.
A lot of hard hits everywhere in that rock.
There
Friley
was.
that got the attenuator. You had, oh man, a head-on lick for Ebley. I can't believe as well there were not more cars than that. The fact we only had 4 cars that were junk in that, very impressive.
Considering how many, there is E-Blade just hard in the outside wall. Then takes another hit from the 7, but he keeps it rolling. Does look like the right side is heavy suspension damage as well.
Joe Campbell also got in that too. He's got heavy damage as well. Lost a tire in that, so he's got a repair going. And pit road is open.
Let's take a look at what happened to Joe in the middle of this there. See the start of the wreck with Joe Campbell here. Joe, a favorite to win here tonight. That chance may have just ended for him. Joe was just right there behind the whole thing and got yeeted into the wall. Yeah, that right front is trashed. Another J&S driver that had a very good shot at a win here tonight. Looks like he is out of contention. What a heartbreaker here late in the race.
Well, this is a first here in a while. Aaron has actually enabled the chat to say I want a quick mic up at 2-2, but I think it's because it's a super speedway race, but who knows? Maybe Aaron being nice because it's the final race. Anyway, interesting strategy we have here. Top 7 guys staying out, or unless they're going to come in for an additional stop.
Yeah, and look who has the lead now. The Ryan Seams fan club better get loud now, because Seams is back up front and playing a little strategy. We know nobody can make it from here. They need at least at minimum another 10 laps before they can pit and go the distance. Could see somebody try and make the stop here and stretch it. Here they come. Ryan Seams, Zach Edwards, everybody else coming down pit road. I don't know. It seems a little bit too far. We've seen guys make it about 85 laps. That put them about 8 laps short. There might be a few guys who can make it from here, especially with pace laps.
Matt Bear wins the race off pit road. Black flag does go to the 01. So Matt Bear likely going to be the race leader. Now this brings up something interesting. Pit stops happening on lap 209 to 10. Drivers will have to pit with about maybe 5 to 10 laps to go. So now this brings up, if we go green to the end, a race of fuel mileage.
And like I said, I think there is a possibility. We've got 93 laps to go from here. We've seen guys make it 85 laps. There is that very slim possibility that somebody out there, somebody like Luke Turpin or Austin Edwards, it could stay in the draft with these pace laps right now, and with the draft, could end up pulling it, going the distance from here. Kind of unlikely, but anything is possible.
And, you know, we're seeing more drivers coming as well. Like Matt Bear actually just came in once again, Don Jordan. And I think that's just to pretty much top off on fuel. I think they took tires first, and now they're topping off on fuel. They're trying to get as much fuel as they can to try and go the distance. And I think as well, a lot of drivers are clutching right now, because now this could come down
to playing a game of chicken.
Definitely could. We didn't think, we were talking about that just a little bit ago, didn't see that happening here, and then all of a sudden the situation has come up where they could very well. I would expect to see guys like Austin Edwards, Luke Turpin, a few of the others. I'd expect to see them laying back in the draft, a couple rows back, sitting down there on the bottom, using as little fuel as possible, stretching this to the last possible lap.
Johnson off the gas right now. He's clutching. I got Crapser using the clutch. Blake Wing clutching. PDJ Zeller clutching. Bergeron's now clutching as the leader. Foster's clutching. Everyone clutching right now.
So,
safe fuel. If you've got a 3-pedal system, you've got a big advantage right now at the moment.
You definitely do. And since we know Petey can do it, hey, Petey. Petey, how close are you on fuel?
This would be a good idea to maybe bring in a driver here.
Mason Foster, Austin Edwards, Blake Wynn, Petey, Zach Edwards.
Everyone pitting.
Hey.
No, I like it. This is a brilliant move, considering how big Charlotte is. Let's see if we can bring in a driver here to talk with. Let's see if we can talk with Matt Bear here, who's restarting in second. Matt, it's Marty and Doug. You got a copy?
Yeah, brother, I got you.
All right, I guess I got to ask it. How much fuel do you have left in the tank to go to the finish? Are you good to go, or do you have to stop again?
Probably gonna have to stop, but who knows? I'm gonna try to save a little bit here. I'm only gonna be probably about 3 laps short, so maybe we get lucky. Try to find a way to save it. But knowing these morons, we're probably gonna get a caution or two right here, so this ought to get interesting now.
All right, we appreciate it, man, and bing bong, good luck.
Thank you, brother.
Matt Bear restarting in second spot here for this restart. Good to have him give us some input here. Jonathan Bergeron and Matt Bear, row number 1. Alex Krapser, Ryan Seams, row number 2. Don Jordan and restart 5th. In 6th, Jeff Edgar. 7th, Albie Hewins. 8th, Sean Patrick. 9th, Greg Holes. And 10th is Noah Carpenter. Keep in mind, Super Speedway, all restarts are on the green flag. It will not be on Jonathan Bergeron.
Pace car is in.
Here we go. 90 laps to go when we see the restart. First restart of the evening. We're back to green.
Somebody's slow up on the high side. It's going to cause some black flags. I can't tell who it is.
That's Mekis.
Mekis has a problem on the restart. That could trigger some black flags because everybody passed him on the inside, but he was a lap down. It may not trigger back behind him directly. Already, guys, getting really dicey, and holy cow, what a restart.
You know, I think I saw him on the outside line. Everyone on the inside line got past him. So I don't think there were any big issues here, but as you look up to the front of the field, Matt Bear trying to create a second groove up top. May try and get down in front of Don Jordan, but Jonathan Bergeron leading for the first time today.
Yeah, great run out of Bergeron. He's been up there in the top 10 most of the race. He was up in the top 5 much earlier on. But here he is back up front for the first time. Definitely putting on a great show for his team and getting out here and getting some laps that he's going to be one to watch next season.
Absolutely. So top 4 single file. Keep in mind that 48 car Martin not battling for the race lead. He's currently 19th. And though, if a caution comes out, the first car lap down. Oh, we do have drivers pitting. Noah Carpenter, Luke Turpin, and I think Jose Gaudino and Brett Mekis were issued black flags because of that.
Wow.
What a tough break. They'll have to come in and serve a black flag. They may put some fuel in the car, but likely, as of what we know right now, their race is done.
Well,
Bergeron, though, you go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, no, think about this. If they just get that splash and it's just a stop and go, They get the splash of fuel. They serve that penalty. Everybody else having to make green flag stops later on. I mean, they're not up to full speed yet. They probably are now, but this would be, if you're going to make that quick splash and dash, this would be the perfect time. Yes, you have that stop and go penalty to serve, but if it's going to happen, now would be the perfect time. When some of these guys start running out of fuel, making those pit stops, they're going to be taking bigger risks. This could end up being beneficial. Maybe not for the win, but they could make up a lot of ground, put them in the money tonight.
How about Bergeron increasing this lead to Alex Krapser? 0.7 of a second. Very surprised. Bergeron's opened up a big gap, but could Krapser and everyone behind be saving fuel here?
I don't know that anybody back here is saving. I'm sure they're not taking it easy. Based on the lap times, they're a little bit slower than they were towards the end of the last run, but that could just be attributed to a full fuel load. So I don't know that anybody's taking it easy right now. I know Krapser is not taking it easy. He's trying to run him down. But this is wild. Bergeron has over a 1 second lead and growing.
Let's ride on board here with Alex Krapser, because he is 0.3 off of Bergeron's pace. Now, he wasn't in that last accident, so he's got no damage on the race car.
He's not out of the throttle much as we go down through 1 and 2. Only dropping to about 5,500, hanging low on the bottom.
Bergeron as well does have a draft too.
And let's hop in Bergeron's car. We might just be seeing lower RPM. No, we're not even seeing lower RPMs out of it. I don't understand how this is working, how that Bergeron managed to run away and open up this gap, and now he has some drafting help and has a 2 second lead.
If this race goes green to the end, Bergeron, I think, is the best driver here that will win this race. Meanwhile,
hey, we've got Gerald Poole in the green room. Looks like he may have some info for us.
Absolutely. All right, Thanos. You got a copy.
10-4, buddy, we do.
What you got on pit road strategy?
Well, like I'm going to tell you guys that. Come on.
All right, just tell us this. Are the drivers at JNS, are they good to make it on fuel or not?
I don't think there's anybody out there good enough to make it on fuel unless you're really good at trying to make it on fuel.
Boy, that was the most evasive answer I have ever heard.
Absolutely.
Well, man, I'm running out of ink here with my pad and pencil writing all this and doing all these math problems. So come on.
Absolutely.
So who is your prediction here? I mean, obviously Joe out of this, a lot of the JNS team getting caught up, but you got guys like Ryan Seams up in the top 5. He's been up there all night. The 29 of Krapser up there. Who do you think is going to pull it off out here tonight?
It's hard to bet against Alex Krapser in that awesome-looking flaming Karma paint shop machine, but Flying Ryan's got some stuff going on, and we can't leave Mason out either in another one of them flaming Karma paint shop things. So there's Joe back there. I mean, I think it's a hang on, wait and see what happens deal.
Absolutely, man. Alrighty, I think we need to let you go back to work on the pit box and do your calculations, and someone get this man a new pen.
We'll talk to you later, guys. Thanks for all you do.
Thank you, Thanos. Much appreciated. Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know how Bergeron's doing this. It's almost 3 seconds now. I mean, we know that two cars can do a lot together, but holy crap.
I mean, we saw part of this last year happen too in the season finale when Mason Foster was up front, but this was early in the race, so we didn't really focus on it a lot too much. But meanwhile, behind Bergeron, they're all racing for second on back. First off, you got Chris Johnson, Kyle Martin, I should say, first off, who is trying to get his lap back and hope for a caution to come out. But then they're racing big time on back. Don Jordan, Sean Patrick, they're battling for the runner-up spot.
Yeah, and they are staying side by side, and somehow Don Jordan is making that outside line work alone right now. I'm sorry, Sean Patrick on the high side making it work alone right now. Obviously, his connection issues from earlier put him back a ways. He has been fighting his way back all night long, and now he's getting it done, and there's a mess, a big mess back behind his Mason Foster, now up into 5th.
I can tell you, by the way, there have been some Tweety birds that have been flipped off to John Schwartz from what I've seen in the pit boxes at the moment. Campbell and Ubley not happy at all at Schwartz's crew. At Schwartz and his crew. After that, again, in case you just joined us, we had around 100 laps to go, just under it, I should say. And our first caution came out when Schwartz hooked Brett Ebley. Around when Sean Patrick, Joe Campbell also involved, and others. A lot of guys that had a chance to win this race out of it. And you know, the Edwards drivers had like the best chance to win. If we went caution free, Edwards and Johnson were winning this race. Now the caution came out, they were in 11th and 12th. Not what they wanted at all.
They made that mad dash back down pit road on that last lap before the green flag dropped to just get that splash of gas. If anybody can do it from here, it's going to be those two guys or a guy like Luke Turpin that are going to be able to make it. It's really an interesting situation because they did have that big 15-second lead, or 14-second lead rather. So we know if they wanted to, they could get up there, run away with this thing. But man, they're just they're going to play it safe here right now. And then when the time comes, expect to see these guys light it up. But you know, if they can make it on fuel and everybody else starts pitting, I really don't know. Now that I think about it, I really don't know that these drivers would push it. I guarantee you they'd be trying to save even knowing that they had the lead.
Absolutely. Now, if you're these guys that are in the back of this lead pack that are in the draft, like, I'll give you examples here. Zach Edwards is one. PDJ Zeller, Austin Edwards, Blake Wynn, maybe Matt Bear as well. The draft is really helping them out big time, trying to save some fuel. Is this what they want?
You know, they can sit here, they can ride, they can save fuel as long as nobody's being stupid and they don't have to push the car to get back up there. Yeah, I think this is exactly what they want to have happen. They've got guys up front that know they cannot go the distance, as Bergeron actually dropped his drafting partner and is now leading that group. But that second group with Sean Patrick, they're all fighting up front. They're battling it out. This is definitely what those guys at the back are wanting right now, just to play it safe. They're holding on to the fuel and going to see how this thing plays out. But being asked in the comments what happened on the restart, Marty, explain the black flags.
So, with all the pit stops that were taking place under caution, fields all jammed up and stuff like that, from the looks of it, I can't tell you the exact penalty of what happened. If I were to guess, Brent Meckes was a little bit slow and guys were passed on the inside, and in general, some drivers not following their heads-up display or getting screwed up by their heads-up display, leading to penalties. I want to tell you this as well. Second through fourth have broken away from the Peloton pack, maybe even Mason Foster as well, and they're starting to chip in on Jonathan Bergeron's lead. Gap is down to 1.8 seconds, and he's lost some time, and it may be because of the pack he is in with Brent Meckes and Jose Gaudino. I can't say that guaranteed, but that could be it, though. But I think Bergeron did like being in that draft of Meckes and Gaudino, so he could save fuel, but now he is in dry air, which he does not want to be in.
No, he really doesn't. He's in the worst possible position he could be in, but he had to know, when he got that big gap, he had to know that was not going to last. While they were battling, he made some hay, and he did an amazing job at it and managed to get out over 3 seconds. But now this group is finally settled in. You've got Kyle McRecken, Martin, and Chris Johnson trying to get back to the lead lap, and they're leading a pack with second place Sean Patrick and third place Don Jordan back there. Jeff Edgar in this fight as well.
Yeah. How about the drivers second through fourth? Have never won an XCAL race before. And if there's a super speedway driver that could do it, now is Jeff Edgar's time, in my opinion.
He definitely has a great opportunity here. A lot of these drivers have great have the best opportunity they're ever going to have here. Meanwhile, Mason Foster, who is up here and who has some super speedway wins, was up there in that fight, but has dropped back to 8th. I think that's, and he fell back in line behind Schwartz. I think this is a fuel strategy move here. He might have pushed too hard in the early going.
Absolutely. So he is falling back out of that pack. And now the pack that's led by Alex Krapser, they are quicker by about 0.2. They're starting to build up the energy here. That time by a 10th better. Gap now 1.3 seconds behind Jeff Edgar. Nearly 4 seconds behind the race leader.
70 laps left to go in this one. And I think if you've got to stop for fuel, if you're short on fuel, now would be a great time to drop in, get that splash of fuel, and take off, because everybody else is going to be expecting you to stretch to the end. But if you know you can't make it to the end and you come in for fuel now, you might have a chance with everybody else running out late in this thing. So could see a few pit stops happen in the next 5 laps or so.
Yes, this window is open for drivers to make their final stop, but I think we're now going to see a game of chicken. If you pit late, all you just need is a splash of fuel and take the minimum to go the distance. The minimum may be 5-10 laps you need to go the distance. You may not even need the draft at all, and you can go to victory lane.
Yeah, and a lot of these, actually most of these teams, they're having to do calculations in their head while they're racing. J&S, they've got a Thanos up doing the math on this one. And, yeah, I hope somebody got that guy a new pin, because he's going to need it on this one.
Remember, we talked with Matt Bear before that last restart. We dialed him up on the radio, and he said he doesn't think he can make it. He's hoping for a caution flag to come out to try and clutch and coast and save on fuel. But now, once again, this is not where he wants. He's in clean air at the moment. Doesn't have a draft in front of him, a slipstream, and he's full throttle on that loud pedal.
Yeah, he is gaining a little bit of ground on Jeff Edgar in 4th, but he's still 2 seconds back, and he's going to have to burn a lot of fuel to get there. You keep seeing him move up on corner entry. He's actually opening the door to let Krapser or Seams get by and pull him around for a little bit. Nobody has taken the bait on this one. Krapser and Seams doing exactly what they need to do. Sit in that draft. They've got a lot of speed, and save.
Meanwhile, gap down to 0.8 of a second between Bergeron and Patrick. We've completed 237 laps so far. A lot of traffic between Bergeron and Patrick. Is this what Bergeron wants right now? To have Patrick up with this huge wad of lap cars and then can try and pull away?
You know, I don't think Bergeron can pull that trick off twice. He's out there alone. He doesn't have any help at the moment, and they are side by side back behind him. These guys are building up a run, and he has nobody to build up a run off of. His only hope now is this group behind him gets into a little bit of trouble, and he has another opportunity for another great restart. But, man, he's going to need that restart late in the race, and it's just going to have to be perfect circumstances again.
Look at this. Kyle Martin, Chris Johnson trying to unlap themselves naturally and can get back up to the front of the field in case a yellow were to fly. This is absolutely a huge moment. Watch this closely. Remember, Martin was penalized earlier in the race under green flag pit stops for speed up here on entry. Bergeron sideways. He saves it though for now. They're darting off for 4. Hook and ladder. And now Bergeron does not have a draft to find Patrick. Do you go upstairs with Johnson and Martin?
Yeah, I think you're going to move up. You have to. You got to get with that line. You know those guys are faster. And this is your best shot at getting up to the front. Oh!
Big door!
Bergeron is not happy here. That
He's not
is
happy.
dangerous.
He's getting raced. Now remember, Kyle Martin is able to race per the XCAL rules. And now Bergeron up the track. Crisscross from Martin down low. And he's starting again. What on earth are they doing?
And they're at the front here.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Big neck cone. Oh my goodness.
Here we go.
This is absolutely stupid. And now you've got Patrick to the race lead. Johnson's back on the lead lap. Martin now has to deal with Patrick because of that. And Bergeron may have just lost the race because of that. That's absolutely ridiculous. And you know Don Jordan's not going to be happy. I don't know about that. That was really bad. That's some bad racing.
That was a bit chaotic.
Totally.
And now Chris and Kyle have to try and get back past Sean Patrick to get their lead back. I guarantee you Sean's going to make it easy, though. He saw how aggressive these guys are willing to get here.
Totally uncalled for, that's for sure. And how about Don Jordan in second, though? That is awesome. We have not seen late in the race this guy in a podium spot. This is absolutely incredible. A great story here.
Yeah, hopefully Don is saving enough fuel to make it to the end. But, oh, look at this. We might be about to have another problem because Bergeron is starting to build a run again and head back up toward McRecken.
And Matt Bear has caught up to Jeff Edgar in a battle for fourth position. So we'll follow all these battles. Chaos is starting to turn up here at Charlotte. Will anyone make it to the end? We'll find out in a little bit. We'll go side by side here.
This is my good friend who had cancer when we were really little, and he was able to beat it through early detection, and now he just recently graduated from Santa Clara.
My dad was diagnosed with cancer my freshman year of high school. Thanks to early detection, he now gets to see me graduate from college.
"8 years ago, my mom was diagnosed with cancer, but thanks to early detection, I'll get to spend this Christmas with her."
My dad was diagnosed with cancer when I was 10, and he passed away soon after. Maybe if we had early detection, he would have been able to be there to walk me down the aisle. Early detection saves lives.
Here we go. Kyle Martin begins the wagon. Final pit stop of the day as he's going to filler to what he needs to go the distance. Now, he just unlapped himself naturally along with Chris Johnson, but now Martin goes back one lap down. And it was very impressive what Martin and Johnson were able to do. They are teammates, too.
I have to wonder if Kyle Martin is voluntarily on pit road or possibly got told to go to pit road. No, he is getting tires and tires as well, so he definitely had to go to pit road for fuel and decided to get right sides along the way.
Right side. Nope, he's going 4 tires and fuel. Very surprised he's doing 4 tires and fuel. I would, at this point of the race, I would be just going fuel and gone.
Right sides at most, if you got to take enough fuel that the time is going to even out. But man, that's a gutsy move. We'll see how it plays out. Depends on how many more people have to come to pit road here after unlapping himself that quickly to put himself back a lap down is a big surprise.
So while we were away, Jeff Edgar did lose a couple of spots as Alex Krapser's pack caught up to them and Matt Bear's pack. Bear has moved up to 4th. Krapser has moved up to 5th. They got to deal with Carpenter in that 23 as the top 3 are trying to have a breakaway, joining Chris Johnson in the making. Again, Johnson not the leader. Last car on the lead lap.
A lot of J&S cars up there to work together. Noah Carpenter with J&S. Alex Krapser, Ryan Seams, Mason Foster. That group could get hooked up and make a huge swing in this race really, really quickly, especially with the way they have been running all night. But you got guys up there like Matt Bear and Don Jordan up in 3rd. You know he is hungry for a podium finish, maybe even a win. And it's been a long time since Sean Patrick's been to victory lane.
Sean Patrick, I don't think has ever won an XCAL race, if I recall correctly. We'll take a look at the stats here in a matter of moments, but I don't think the PD may have to CarPlay us here on this one. It's Sean Patrick, Don Jordan, Jeff Edgar, Ryan Seams, Greg Holz. Half of the top 10 have never been to victory lane in the $5 Tuesday series.
So it could be a big night for one of those drivers.
Absolutely, for sure. And if I look at Sean's stats here as I go into this. Oops. Here we go. Sean has... That's right. He's had 2 pseudonyms. He's had Sean Patrick and he's had Heather Patrick on iRacing. So keep that in mind. Never won in XCAL competition. He has had a top 5. That top 5 came... So that top 5 actually came in a test race, so that does not count. Man, that's tough to say. Never had a top 5 before. Could tonight be the night? We'll have to see. Don Jordan, meanwhile... Wow! This is awesome for him. I'm very excited for him. He has had 2 top 5s and 13 top 10s in his career. The only top 5s have come in mini stocks. His best street stock finish, 24th at South Boston.
Hey, just noticed my buddy Tommy Hebert from Tyler Daniels Racing dropped into the comments and was actually asked about him earlier in the race, as the folks have not seen him broadcast in a while. So Tommy, where are you hanging out? And you know what? I might have to have you come join me one night.
Here we go. Pit stop, Sean Patrick. Back in the pits, and so Jonathan Bergeron now out in front once again.
Where's McRecken? Just out of curiosity's sake. McRecken in turns 3 and 4, and Bergeron is through 1 and 2. So they might be safe for the moment, but I guarantee you, if these two get close together again, there could be an issue.
Absolutely. Gonna keep an eye on Patrick's time here as he is in the pits. We know he's doing at least 2 tires. Is he gonna do 4 though? The question.
Now, Jim Johnson, Austin Edwards, Petey, these guys that made that last second dive to pit road for fuel, we're going to be watching them closely because they're going to have to go 92 laps on the tank, and it might actually be doable, but man, will it be close.
2 tires and fuel for Sean Patrick. We'll see what he does here as Bergeron and Jordan 1-2. Jordan may actually go for the race lead, go for some 5 bonus points. 5 Bergeron, let him do it.
Let him do it. Look at this.
You might as well. It's going to make no difference to you, but it's going to make a world of difference to Don Jordan.
Look at
He's got
this.
the nose ahead.
This
Don
is
Jordan leads a
awesome.
lap.
Don Jordan out in front of unofficially 17th different leader. That is so cool. Don Jordan, you have your Kodak moment here, folks.
Congratulations, Tommy. I definitely will, buddy. Man, what a move by Don Jordan to get up into the lead. Now the question is, Don pitted on lap 210. That's a 93 lap run. He's another one that's kind of questionable, but just having that car out front's got to make him happy, and he can sit in Chris Johnson's draft here. If this thing stays green, I don't know. Don Jordan not known for fuel saving, but anything could happen here.
Second race, he has led laps in XCAL competition. Meanwhile, Sean Patrick is off. 1 minute and 29-second pit stop. Let's see here. If we take a look here, Mason Foster stopped on lap 212 of this race. So that would be, what if I were to guess? 91. Yeah, that's going to be very tough for all these drivers to go the distance. It's going to have to come down to drafting and how much clutching did you do under caution. Look at this, Jordan trying to lap Chris Johnson. That's playing with fire there. And now you got Matt Bear up to third position. Could be challenging for the race lead at any moment. You do have the 23, excuse me. We have Noah Carpenter here in this battle too.
You have to wonder, Don Jordan and his teammate Jonathan Bergeron, both the Black Sheep cars, obviously not happy at all with Kyle Martin and by extension EHP. So who knows what's going to happen here, but it's a bit chaotic, and the EHP, Chris Johnson, you know, he had that 3-week suspension. I don't think he's going to push the issue too terribly much.
Jordan led 18 laps at Auto Club on August 2nd. That was our caution-free race we had. But now Bear starts to close in.
What is
draft
Chris?
off of Carpenter. Oh my!
I don't know if Chris just got a little loose or a little bit of a push or just drove up the track a little bit. We'll have to watch this closely. Chris is a lap down. He's actually at the tail end of the lead lap at the moment, just trying to hold on to that lead lap. But, man, be careful, buddy.
And Bergeron takes the lead back because of it. Don has no help. Thought for a moment Matt Bear as well was coming into pit. I thought I saw him on the apron off at turn 2. Take a peek all the way down to the bottom.
You'd think Bergeron takes out his frustration on the car ahead. But obviously, he can't get to McRaken right now. So does he go after Chris Johnson, or does he let it slide here?
See what happens here at the line. Bergeron continuing to lead. Bear, I think, going to play it safe in third. Crapser and Edgar, your top 5, all in this pack. I think here now, as we start to see drivers come in for their final stops, I think the pit stops are going to get quicker and quicker and quicker because of the fuel.
Definitely. Ryan Seams, Mason Foster, 2 of the J&S cars, currently running 6th and 7th, working really well together. Jonathan Schwartz a lap down behind him. Blake Wynn back in 8th place. Several cars back, a lot of lap cars mixed in here. And then there's the EHP cars of Jim Johnson and Austin Edwards back there running 9th and 10th. And as we mentioned, if anybody can save the fuel and go without a stop, it's going to be these 2 guys.
I was just about to talk about them. They could go the longest on pit stops. Same for Luke Turpin, but Turpin's a lap down, obviously, so you think about these 2 cats here first. Change for second, Matt Bear taking a risk on the outside all by himself.
Yeah, Matt has no friends close by. It looks like Noah Carpenter may come up to help. No, he doesn't. So Matt's got to pull this one off all by himself, and can he get it done? Meanwhile, Jonathan Bergeron is bump drafting Chris Johnson, letting Chris stay on the lead lap. He's not trying to fight his way by. Matt really trying to keep Don Jordan pinned down.
Look at the view from the Telesign blimp. It's getting really exciting. Bear's got to run. Pulls up to the quarter panel of Bergeron. Looking for the race lead. He's up to the door. All by himself trying to side draft. See if Bear can lead at the line. Gonna be close here. I think he did. And he did. That is the 36th lead change of this race tonight.
The Mad Bear back to the front, and I know Matt. Matt's not going to be patient with a lap car. He wants to get by. He wants to get as far out front as possible, and he's got a massive run down the back straightaway.
Oh, look at this! If he laps Chris Johnson, this will not be what Art Hendren needs. Coming up on some other on another driver too. That is. Trying to see who that is. That is Holes in the 19.
Yeah, Greg about to be swallowed up by this group as they all go single file, and Matt Bear did it. Matt has gotten past Chris Johnson and now put Chris back a lap down here.
Very impressive. EHP cars, I think they just signaled they're coming in this time. Nope, they did not. I saw someone go below the apron. Nobody's coming in. I think they're signaling. I think they signal that they're pitting next time by.
I'll be surprised to see Austin and Jim go to pit road as Greg Holes now falls behind the leader. And this is a smart move by Matt. If he knows he can keep putting guys between him and Bergeron, that's the perfect situation for him to be in. But he needs somebody fast in front of him to help him save fuel. He did say he cannot go the distance.
268 laps are complete. Nobody comes in this time. Holes, meanwhile, lets the leaders go by. Matt Bear has never won at a super speedway before. He's come close. You named Michigan as one of them from last season. I know that because I was the one that pushed him to get to the front of the field and finish in the top 3.
Here's an interesting note.
Go ahead.
Luke Turpin 1 lap down, last pitted on lap 215. He could go the distance without having to clutch and save fuel. He is 1 lap down, but these guys are all going to lose a lap on pit road. Now, Thanos says, his math says there's no way Turpin can do it, but you never know what could happen here late in the race at Charlotte.
That'd be, I think, 87 laps. I don't think anyone's gone as far as 87 tonight. So we'll have to see what happens.
Nobody's gone over 90, but I can guarantee you Austin Edwards and Jim Johnson, they're going to try it.
Absolutely. Just 33 laps away from finding out who's going to end up in Fuel Factor X Victory Lane presented by KMU Trucking and Excavating. To learn more about Fuel Factor X, go to mydailychoice.com/DeCarlo Buckeyes.
I bet all these drivers are wishing they had some Fuel Factor X right now in the car. Even just a little bit, a splash, an ounce, anything they could get right now.
Nobody trying to pass anyone at all here unless you're trying to pass lap traffic like Crapser is doing. That's just because you want to go the shortest way around the track at the moment. Just to use less fuel.
Ryan Seams, Jeff Edgar up on the high side as they come around Noah Carpenter.
Want to tell you, by the way, when it came to the drivers that are good to go to the finish, Greg Holtz and Sean Patrick paid on the same lap. Holtz came out in front 116 to 129 when it came to the pit stops.
I'm surprised any of their pit stops were that long. I would not think, as close as they are on fuel, that they would need that long of a stop.
Hey, man. For tires, too. Very surprising.
Yeah. The 4-tire pit stops earlier, that came as a big shock, but we'll see how that plays out for Kyle Martin. I believe is the only one that took a full 4 tires looking at the pit stop times, so it'll be interesting to see. He's currently back in 25th on the back bumper of Luke Turpin.
One still working together. Schwartz, though, stuck on the outside. Second car 1 lap down. Not sure about this. He lets Gaudino go past. He lets the 8th place car in Win, I think, go by. Boy, JB Smooth playing with fire there, that's for sure. He's already played with fire once. Remember, he got a strike for causing the lone yellow of the race so far. Woo! Hang on there. Johnson almost got up into the 0-1 again. Johnson and Edwards, currently 9th and 10th at the moment, have been quiet ever since the first caution could come out. They dominated the first 2/3 of this race, Doug.
Yeah, they definitely got out there. They were able to pull away and open up a big gap. 14 seconds, I believe, at the time of caution. So that was something they did not want to see, because they could have, if it had stayed green, man, they could have done something with it. But regardless, here they are. They're going to be very close on fuel. And with 28 laps to go, anybody else who's going to pit, they better be thinking about doing it quickly. As we've seen in the past, making the latest possible pit stop usually bites you.
Gotta step aside and take a break. Will anyone be able to make it to the finish? We'll find out when we come back. We'll take a commercial free after this.
Are you ready to chase the moonlight? Community-based and talent-driven, Moonlight Speed Concepts has what you need to take your iRacing experience to the next level. Founded by passionate owners that care about the community and housing some of the top setup builders and drivers on the platform, Moonlight Speed Concepts offers custom paints, driver coaching, and setups for dirt, asphalt short track racing, and eNASCAR competition. Partnered with top brands in both real world and simulation. Follow us on Facebook or visit moonlightspeed.com and find out why these businesses chase the moonlight and why you should too. Moonlight Speed Concept, where all we chase is moonlight.
Wow, a lot of things happened. We were side by side. First off, Jonathan Bergeron took the lead. Don Jordan loose off at turn number 2. And Don Jordan coming on in for his final stop. We'll keep you posted on the pit stop time here. But Jonathan Bergeron taking the race lead away. Matt Bear fell back to second. I think Bear let Bergeron go because he needs
some fuel and he wants to use the draft.
He has to. We saw him get moved up the track a little bit, but with the number of guys pitting so late into this run, I'm surprised we didn't see more guys on pit road sooner. But here we are, late in the race, and fuel could come into play. A lot of question marks still out there, but Jim Johnson now back up into 4th. Austin Edwards in 9th. They are separated now.
And look at this, the racing's starting to pick up. Double file, approaching 20 to go. Blake, whoa, hang on! Martin, sideways, just a touch from Bergeron. Wow, what a save. That cost Blake Wynn and Johnson some momentum there, Doug.
Yeah, Chris Johnson just gets moved up the track. The car way out of shape, but I have to think that Bergeron is really aggravated about what happened earlier. He wants a win here, and he's doing whatever he has to do at this point. Late in the race, 20 to go. You're going to do whatever you got to do to get it done.
We're starting to see two versions of chicken here take place. Chicken game number 1, obviously, you want to be the latest to pit. Chicken game number 2, do you want to be leading? Or do you want to be in the draft? I think a lot of people want to be in that draft right now. I don't think you want to be leading this race at the moment.
I think Bergeron's got the smartest move here. He is in the draft and trying to save a little bit of fuel to the end. I'm surprised he gave Chris such a hard time to let him get back on the lead lap. It does him no good to fight with Chris. Does him a ton of good to sit on Chris's bumper.
Blake Wynn and James Johnson have said it's time to work. Only 2 working up on the top shelf. Trying to get past Alex Krapser for 3rd. Now looking on Matt Bear for 2nd with 18 remaining.
Matt Bear has done a great job. But remember, we talked to him during that one caution, and he said he could not go the distance on fuel. He was hoping for that quickie caution that never, ever came. So it's going to be interesting to see if he has found a way to stretch some fuel. Meanwhile, that outside line led by Blake Wynn is starting to make a move forward. Blake is not even up here. Blake is, in 3rd right now with Jim Johnson on the back bumper. Krapser and Foster, though, teammates right below him.
Wynn is dropped to the bottom, leaving Johnson all by himself. Haven't talked about this yet. I've seen a couple of drivers, Alex Krapser be one of them, go below the apron but not pit. Now you can go below the apron here at Charlotte on the back straightaway. You just can't go. You just can't advance your position below the apron. And what they're trying to do here, trying to go the shorter way around, try to use less fuel. Johnson, meanwhile, go ahead.
I have to wonder if that's going to work or not, because they still have to turn down a little bit and they lose a little bit of the draft. But I guess time will tell. It just seems like an odd strategy unless you get several cars to go down there with you.
Johnson's making it work all by himself, up to 2nd past Spare, looking for the lead on Bergeron.
Jim definitely got himself a hot rod here tonight, looking for some help. No help back behind as Austin Edwards back in 9th place. And way behind this battle, about 3 1/4 seconds back. So Jim has no help whatsoever, and he is a bit surrounded by J&S cars as well as the leader in a black sheep car.
15 laps to go this time here in the season finale at Charlotte. The Mad for Ashley 454. 288 laps are in the books. As of right now, 8 cars have a chance to win it, but remember, there is one more stop, so it may not be any of those 8. Johnson for the lead on Bergeron. He's got to run the outside.
And
see
you know
if he
that
uses the 48's a pick.
and the 48's his teammate, so he's got some help.
Jimmy Johnson to the race lead. 14 laps to go. 38th lead change of this evening. That's a big move from the 25, looking for his first career XCAL win.
And if he has the fuel to go the distance here, man, what a story that would be. season finale, pulling off the win here at Charlotte, but a place dominated by another Jimmy Johnson.
Back when it was known as Lowe's Motor Speedway, picking up 3 in a row in the 600. 13 laps to go. Who's going to be the one that pits late? And how much fuel do you use in the tank?
And who's going to try and stretch it, and who has the fuel to go the distance here is a really big question mark. I just looked, Jim Johnson and Jonathan Bergeron both pitted on lap 209, so it's a 94-lap run for both of them. We saw drivers over 85 laps. We thought 84, 85 was going to be the average run. We saw some drivers pulling 88, 89 earlier in the race. Can these guys pull this one off?
Going to be very tough to do that. Our notes coming on in, we had around 84 laps. So we're going 10 beyond predicted strategy. Do you want to be lean, though, if you're Jimmy Johnson? I think if I'm Bergeron, I'm glad that pass was made for the race lead.
As long as you know you can get set up and get the run that puts you back in the lead, that's a good place to be. However, Chris Johnson pulls out of the way. Jim's help is gone.
And Bergeron's got a big toe. Schwartz in and out. 17 seconds, by the way, was the stop. 11 laps to go. Let's take this opportunity to let our fans know. 10 to go. No more lap cars get wave arounds. 5 to go. No more cautions. It's going to come all the way down to the wire in the season finale.
Last week, the second ever time we did a green-white checkered in an XCAL event. I could see it being a distinct possibility here tonight. Jim Johnson now got some draft.
Look at this, off of Meckes. Goes to the inside. Meckes lets him go. Now you got Snodgrass and Brancaccio. They let him go by. Oh, man, they touched there for a moment. Nearly was disastrous. But Johnson, a little bit of pickup. Oh, Bergeron looks like he's coming in. Steven Rex is in. Johnson's out in 27 seconds. Here comes Bergeron.
Is in.
Bergeron can't do it much longer. He's in. Waiting to see how long it takes Steven Rex. Rex is out in 24 seconds. Hendren also comes in. We'll keep you posted on Bergeron.
Matt Bear did say he cannot go the distance on fuel. Will we see him in here late? Will Jim Johnson need to come to pit road? If
nobody signals.
Nobody's looking like they're going to make a move here, but then you've got the top three, then a line of J&S cars. Alex Krapser, Mason Foster, and Ryan Seams all in this lead pack. Those three cars could get hooked up and make a huge difference here. EHP, Jim Johnson has no help whatsoever.
Drawn out in 17 seconds. Turpin is in the pits.
Surprised to see Turpin need to come in at all,
Longer
considering
stop.
He's the last.
Here we go. Leaders coming in this time, Doug.
I am a little bit shocked Jim's not going to try and ride this one out, but hopefully it's a quick stop as he comes down. Matt Bear is going to stay out. Blake Wynn is out. Alex Krapser. All the J&S cars staying out for the moment.
Here we go. Johnson's in. Keep you posted on his stop. Race is far from over, folks. We've got 7 laps to go.
Matt last stopped on lap 210. Blake Wynn 212. Is Blake Wynn signaling?
I think so, and I think Edgar's signaling as well. Gives Krapser a huge draft if Wynn does come into the pits. Here he comes.
You know what? We've seen those J&S cars really stretch the fuel, and now the three of them are going to be together. Mason Foster, Alex Krapser, Ryan Seams. Nose to tail, and Matt Bear does not like what he sees in the mirror right now.
Johnson's out in 17 seconds, and you're right, 3 J&S cars between them. And Bear signals he's coming in. Well, 5 to go this time by.
There'll be no more cautions when the leader crosses the stripe.
Hey, Marty, who's in 5th?
Austin Edwards is in 5th. And he may be saving fuel.
I think he
is.
He's
coasting. He's clutching. Edwards is clutching. Oh, my goodness.
He is that close.
Wynn came out in 13 seconds. Edgar out in 11. 5 to go. Krapser takes the lead.
Now the question is, do the top 3, can they work together? And those 3 cars, their teammates, can they work together to make it to the end? And then on that final lap, which one of the 3 is it going to be?
They're not coming in this time. 4 laps. Oh,
Krapser's
coming in. Foster. Seems is in. Now we watch for Austin Edwards. Clutching in 3 and 4. He's going to try and go the distance.
Let's ride along and see just how much he is saving. He's down at 5,000 RPM. Out of 4, he's not even pushing it.
Looking for the record high 11 wins in a season. We saw someone break the American League record for home runs in a season earlier tonight. We could see the most wins in XCAL history in a season. 4 to go. Edwards to the lead.
And Jim Johnson just set the fastest lap of the race.
35.87. Zach Edwards is 13 and a half seconds back.
Austin has help.
That's a help. That is Kyle Martin. 3 to go. Edwards takes the lead.
I don't see. I'm willing to bet that you've got Austin Edwards barely on the throttle because McRecken is gonna push him around.
This is like when Harry Yant got the win thanks to a push from Rick Mast in 1991 at Talladega all over again. 15-second lead for Austin. The lead is increasing.
Well,
He's clutching on the straightaways. 2 to go. Oh my goodness. Oh.
Is Austin still under power, or is he
He's
just
still under power?
He is just coasting it.
I thought I heard the car for a moment simmer. Watching down the straightaways. Kyle's still giving him a push. He's shaking the car, trying to pick up fuel. Oh my goodness. If Austin can survive 1.5 more miles, this will be the greatest fuel conservation win in XCAL racing history.
Talk about Edwards' high-performance teamwork. It don't get no better than that. Austin Edwards takes the white flag being pushed around the track.
He didn't even put the power down on the front straight.
Oh my God, look at who's in second. Petey.
Petey's second. Krapser's third. Final time down the back straight. No power for Austin. Just clutching the car. Trying to bring it home. What a season it's been for the driver of the 18. Clinched the title last week. A walk-off to the season. Season record 11 wins. Austin Edwards takes it at Charlotte. What a win.
Petey's going to come home in second place. Krapser in third. Fourth is going to be Mason Foster. And, hey, you know what? The Seams fan club's got to be happy tonight. Ryan comes home in fifth.
Wow. I saw Austin, by the way, in the race earlier. I saw him fall out of the pack. I didn't want to say anything. I just had that slight feeling that he was coasting, that he was clutching the car. Unbelievable. 92 laps he went on the final stint.
Austin Edwards has a full team push, but you gotta wonder, does he even have enough fuel to do a burnout or anything here tonight?
He may need help to do the burnout.
You know, he usually does his drift. We didn't see it. I bet he is completely dead. See if we can hop in the cockpit, see if that engine is off. He is completely out of fuel. Austin owes that win to Kyle McRecken Martin. Holy crap. Petey coming to give him a love tap, and look at J&S. Second, third, fourth, and fifth.
biblical scenes you are seeing here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. This may be one of the greatest moments in XCAL history right here.
Austin Edwards already in the booth, ready to celebrate a win, a record-breaking win, a record-breaking championship. It's going to be fun to talk to Edwards here tonight.
Absolutely. Man.
All right, looks
yeah, I got him last week, so you're good.
Yep, looks like Crapser is ready, just waiting on PD to hop up into the green room, and what a finish for PD as well.
Let's begin with Alex Crapser. Alex, wow, what a finish, man. Walk us through those final laps and how you were able to take third position at the end.
Yeah, it definitely was chaotic. Just trying to come up with a fuel strategy where we could all kind of pit together. It was surprising because I think at one point in the race we made it 85 laps, but that last run, no one could seem to go past 75. So just came in with 4 to go, which is a lap later than I expected, and was able to take a little bit less fuel. Thought I maybe could get PD at the end, but Austin ran an awesome race, and him and Jimmy and Kyle, they had a great run, and we're probably going to finish top 3 before that caution came out.
Absolutely. Who do you want to give shout-outs to on the run?
Absolutely the entire team. All the team owners, Joe, Danny, Justin. It's been a fun season racing for them. Jerry and the Flaming Karma Paint Shop, How to Suck at iRacing, everyone. Aaron Hillebush did a great job with the league this year with PD as the vice president. Everyone in the league. Awesome year.
All right, man. We'll let you go. Great job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, Alex Crapser finishes in third. I think PD's a little bit too excited. He also went the distance. 2 guys stayed out. Austin and PD went the entire distance.
PD, we know you're listening.
Yeah, PD's in CarPlay mode right now at the moment. So, all righty. Let's talk with our winner in Fuel Factor X Victory Lane presented by KMU Trucking and Excavating. The champ is in the broadcast booth. Austin Edwards. My man, this may be the greatest win of your career.
Marty, is it a bad thing that I'm more excited about winning the race than the championship?
Yes. No, I'm kidding.
Well, I honestly, just all year, we just could not figure out these super speedways, and man, I felt like we had it won halfway through the race there. We had Kyle Martin on my bumper just shoving me away from the rest of the field, and I figured we had it won. We had James Johnson behind me, Kyle right there, 1, 2, 3. I thought we were set, and then the dreaded caution flag came out.
Oh, man, yeah. That caution, you guys didn't want that caution. You and James had a huge lead.
Yeah, we had found something pretty cool with the fuel. We were only taking 4 cans compared to the usual 4.5 that most people were taking throughout the race, so that was working out pretty good. We were pulling away, and the caution came out, and Kyle ended up getting a black flag, so unfortunately bad luck there, but we found our way to the final restart and tried saving like crazy and actually ended up 2 laps short, so thank goodness Kyle Martin was laps down and had nothing better to do but push me to the line.
I love the way you were saving fuel and clutching and coasting on the straightaways. I have not seen anything like that in XCAL racing. How about the teamwork as a whole? Like you said, Kyle pushing you. It's unfortunate he had the speeding penalty in the race, and then so he was able to work with you and James throughout the race, then pushing you to the end. Just the right place, right time.
Oh, absolutely. It was all him. I got to give him all the credit for this win. I had no other way to win this race. I probably was going to run out coming out of turn 2 on the last lap, but as always, great teamwork by myself, James, Kyle, and of course Chris, but Chris was kind of on his own tangent out there today, but overall just a great way to cap off the season with these guys, finally bringing a win to the super speedway, clicking off the championship a couple races ago, and breaking the record. We got 11 wins on the season now. I don't think it gets much better than that.
Absolutely. You broke the record on the same night Aaron Judge broke the historic American League record. How are we celebrating this one tonight?
I have no idea, Marty. To be honest with you, I got a car to go fix outside. I about didn't make this race. I was driving home and had a check engine light came on and lost some power and things started sounding weird and I thought I wasn't get to race today. So the fact that I even got to race is a miracle. But I'm going to go celebrate by getting greasy outside.
Doug, you got anything?
Nope, I'm good. Congratulations, buddy. That was a great race, and looking forward to seeing how you do next season.
Thank you, sir. We're looking forward to it.
Well, a couple things here. First off, who do you want to give shout-outs to?
Well, as always, a big shout-out to the guys on my team. You know, as much as it doesn't stay, they were on my team earlier this year, and then they had to switch owners due to some financial struggles. It's still the best team that I could ask for. Big shout-out to them. All the teammates I've had throughout the year, they've all been wonderful. Despite the crashes they've ensued and the Joes they've pissed off, you know, it was a fun season with those guys. As always, a big shout out to JR Button Boxes, JR Graphics, keeping our cars looking good. Big thank you to you guys here at How to Suck at iRacing, putting on the best show I've ever seen on iRacing, and of course everybody at XCAL. Mostly Aaron Hillebus putting on this great show. It's been one heck of a season, and I don't know what to expect next year.
Well, we brought Aaron Hillebush in to present you with the crowning of the championship. Aaron, the mic is all you.
Thank you, Marty. Austin Edwards, on behalf of everybody at XCAL Racing, I'd like to congratulate you on not only a championship, but also a dominant season, and of course, finishing first place on top of our most valuable driver rankings. Austin, over the course of the season, between your race victories and your championship earnings, you are going to total over $1,000 this season. How does that feel, buddy?
That's unbelievable. You know, sometimes you're racing in this league and you forget how much money is involved. You just come out here and start to have fun, but I guess it works out in my advantage. That's amazing.
Yes, it truly has been an amazing season, and we hope that you will gracefully lead us into 23 and be a champion. Have you given much thought into your 2023 XCAL racing plans?
Well, you know, I'm really hoping to run Aaron, but life's unpredictable, so I'm going to do everything I can, but worst case scenario, you'll see me pop in a couple times throughout the season. I'm hoping to run a full season, but I'm not going anywhere anytime soon.
Well, that's great to hear, and I hope you'll have plenty of time for iRacing, because Austin, not only did you win the most money this year, as our championship car owner, you're also going home with a Butt Kicker Gamer Plus device, thanks to our sponsors over at thebuttkicker.com.
Man, I've been waiting all year to get my butt kicked. I cannot wait for that.
Awesome, Austin. Once again, congratulations. You did an amazing job this season, and I hope to see you back on the track in just a few months, and also next month for our Bellaboo 400 and Massive Whale PD.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
That's Aaron Hillebush. Any other final thoughts, Aaron, before we send you back into your cave?
Well, of course, I just want to give a quick thank you to all of our great sponsors, thebuttkicker.com, SimRacer Coin, Tri-E Incorporated and the Cooler Crew, JT's Mobile Pressure Washing, Alloy Wheel Repair Specialists of the Upstate, Flaming Karma Paint Shop. We've had a great season. It's been a ton of fun. The back-end experience has been unique this year. Everything from implementing our relationship with Google and the ads on the website. And of course, I want to thank the How to Suck at iRacing Network, yourself, Doug Burns. We've had Rob Colgan in there. Everybody who's helped out on these broadcasts. And of course, last but certainly not least, I got to give a special thank you to all those XCAL wives, girlfriends, basically widows who have lost sight of their husband and boyfriend every Tuesday night for the last 30 events. Thanks for letting the boys come out and play once again. You guys rock.
All right. Aaron, been one heck of a season, man. Congratulations on a great year.
Thank you, Marty, and thank you guys for a great season of broadcasting.
Absolutely. Aaron Hillebush, our president of XCAL Racing there, and Austin Edwards, your 2022 XCAL champion. Top 10 of the race were Austin Edwards, PDJ Zeller, Alex Krapser, Mason Foster, Ryan Seams, Matt Beard, Jeff Edgar, Blake Wynn, James Johnson, and Jonathan Bergeron. Only one caution, 48 lead changes in tonight's race officially. That's awesome. What a race we had. Edwards, Zeller, Krapser, Foster, Seams, Bear, Wynn, Johnson, Bergeron, Zach Edwards, Schwartz, Jordan, Turpin, Chris Johnson, Patrick, Mekis, Martin, Campbell, and Gerald Poole. All led laps tonight here at Charlotte. And fastest lap of the race, I can confirm, 35.860 from Ryan Seams. Biggest mover of the race, up 25 spots, was Matt Bear. So, Doug, final thoughts on an awesome season?
I'm worn out. I'm looking forward to a break and then getting back into it next season. But it's been a great season, 30 great events. Still got some special events coming, so still a lot more going on. And yeah, I'm looking forward to a couple of weeks of being back in the car myself.
Absolutely. It's going to be an awesome 2023 coming on up. Awesome special events, coming up for XCAL Racing. So I guess right now we'll go get drunk at Applebee's, I'm guessing, to celebrate. So that'll do it for us here tonight on behalf of everyone at XCAL Racing. Aaron Hillebush, our president, PDJ Zeller, our vice president, congrats to him, his final race with us. All the fine senior admins, on behalf of everyone at How to Suck at iRacing, Doug Burns working the buttons, Robert Colgan, Marty Scala signing off. Austin Edwards takes the win and the championship in the Mad for Ashley 454 at Charlotte. So long, everyone.
Are you ready to chase the moonlight? Community-based and talent-driven, Moonlight Speed Concepts has what you need to take your iRacing experience to the next level. Founded by passionate owners that care about the community and housing some of the top setup builders and drivers on the platform, Moonlight Speed Concepts offers custom paints, driver coaching, and setups for dirt, asphalt short track racing, and e-NASCAR competition. Partnered with top brands in both real world and simulation. Follow us on Facebook or visit moonlightspeed.com and find out why these businesses chase the moonlight and why you should too. Moonlight Speed Concept, where all we chase is moonlight.